We're rising up. We're women and we're roaring in the 20s. And we're doing the Charleston in Austin, Texas. That's what they're going to be saying at the Rise conference in all the ads that are soon to be here, I'm sure. Welcome to Thursday night. We did it, Joe. We did it. We made it. We did it, Taro. And guess what? She's hungry. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it? That little girl. She wants her food. And she'll be getting it in 43 minutes. Oh, man. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello.
Hello?
What up, homies?
What up, homie?
I have all this to say as well. Are we happy? Are we having a good day?
No.
No.
Guess what? Matthew McConaughey, he's not selfish enough, he said. He's like, people always accuse me of being selfish and self-absorbed, self-focused, and I'm not enough. Anyways, that's not what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about Rise Conference starring Rachel Hollis again, the infamous I don't want to teach women stuff anymore. I just want to make movies with my boo thing or whatever she was doing, write country music. And now she needs money, so she's back. And the Epstein files. So exciting. There was many people mentioned in the Epstein files, and obviously there's like 3 million documents, so we can't talk about them all, but there are at least 3 wellness-ish gurus who made the list, and I think 2 of them look real bad, and one of them is kind of off the hook, I think, just based on what I've seen personally. But which one is which, you'll have to wait and find out.
No.
But you have no choice. Okay. And thank you so much for supporting my Mel Robbins video. You know what? I was convinced. I was like, you know what? I think if I put a little effort into making a funny video, it will do well. No. Wrong-o. A random Ned Fulmer video did so much better than that. So I'm shocked. I think a lot of people liked it in the comments, but views-wise, it was like the worst of the last 10 shorts I've posted. It's very confusing out there, this world. This world of mine. Anyways, well, let's start with Rachel. How about that? Because we're in the audience right now, and we're ready to learn, and we're ready to rise. Okay, so if you haven't been here for a while, Rachel Hollis is back in action. She is helping women achieve their goals. Okay, she hasn't changed her bio in a month. That's surprising. And she just announced that she is going to have a new conference in Austin, Texas, which I find to be so perplexing based on where she is in her life now. I guess she's hoping that you just forget that everything's happened over the last 4 years, 6 years now. Or that you just don't have access to Google and you come across her Go Girl content and you just accept it and you're, I have to meet this woman. Because I don't know 200 people that are going to want to spend a hefty price tag for 8 hours to be in the presence of Rachel Hollis. But she's hoping that you do. And she hopes that you do it on March 20th, okay? It says something new is coming. And by that, she means nothing new. It's actually an old, repeated thing that did not work the last time she tried it back in 2021. Also in Austin, Texas. So I guess we're just trying it again. We're running it back, and she's selling less tickets for more money is, I guess, the new thing. Rise Elevate. So it's not just the Rise Conference. It's called Rise Elevate. It's a 1-day experience. It used to be 3 days, which was where you were, where you are, where you're going. Each day was some bullshit about each thing. And now it's just condensed into one. But the prices, I don't know what it costs to go to Rise exactly. I know depends on where you sit and what VIP status you are. But I would imagine it's about the same, but you're getting less time. but I guess it's more one-on-one or more small group. So there's some advantage there if this is important to you, but okay. This is for, okay, Rise Elevate is a one-day experience for women who are already building something. So you can't just be a nobody. I mean, I guess you could as long as you have the money, but it's not for you. It's for people who are rich and are starting their boutique knit crochet pillows, okay? Entrepreneurs, business owners, which is sort of the same thing typically. Okay, but anyways, leaders and women growing into their next level. I'm surprised I shouldn't say inside of their next level. This is not about starting over. It's about refining your direction, sharpening your focus, and deciding what matters next. Okay. March 20th, 2026, Austin, Texas. It's funny how she would be the one teaching this because I feel like this is exactly what she needs to attend to figure out what's next because what she's been doing is not working, in my humble opinion. Tickets go on sale February 4th, so yesterday. Only 200 seats available. Save the date. This one is different. Rooting for you. Okay, so it's different in the fact that it's going to be small. But her last one was small because she could only sell a certain amount of tickets. Actually, the last one was like 20 people. It was not 200. Actually, 200 is bigger than the last Rise conference. Maybe 50. There was not 200 people, I will say, in her last one. That was during COVID, so okay, it was still in the beginning stages of people getting together. But still, that was peak cancellation time. And she has not returned in any real way since then. So let's go to the website to buy a ticket. Our newest live event. These are real people. These are real women who are really going to be there. This is not a stock image. Definitely not. Okay. Website almost broke on us. What to expect at Rise Elevate. For the last 5 years, I've gotten some version of the same message over and over again, even though she didn't have her comments open for like the last 4.5 years. Are you ever going to bring Rise back? I went to Rise in Dallas and Toronto and LA. Please do another one. Please tell me you're doing conferences again. I'm sure that happened. For those of you not familiar with Rise, you might not understand why it's such a big deal to our community. To give you a little backstory, we started Rise back in 2017. It's the personal development conference for women who want to take ownership of their lives and their work. What does that even mean? Take ownership of your life and work. In any real sense, what does that mean? If before I go to the conference, I'm not owning it. And then by the end of the conference, how does one take ownership? Okay, but anyways, since the first event, Rise has welcomed over 100,000 attendees to its in-person and virtual conferences worldwide. If you've been to a Rise conference and you know how special it is, which is why I'm thrilled to announce our newest event, Rise Elevate, is here. And like any woman who's lived a little life, Rise Elevate is here. And like any woman who's lived a little life, does that mean like, if you're kind of older? Or if you lived little, I'm concerned. It's wiser, sharper, and more intentional. Okay, I think we need to workshop this line. Why Rise Elevate exists. It's not a comeback tour. Okay, we'll save that for our 10-year anniversary in 27. Oof. Let's see if we make it to then, Rachel. I don't know. We might not have a company by then. I don't know if we have a company now, to be honest, but okay. Rise Elevate as a refinement. This is for women who are already in motion, but know they could be moving faster, cleaner, and with a lot more confidence. Women who don't need motivation as much as they need clarity. Well, who's going to give them the clarity? There's not clarity in your business or company. Okay. Women who are working hard but have realized that effort alone isn't the answer. Because you are the answer. Read my book. You are the answer. But you're not the answer anymore because this is actually the answer and this is something you need to purchase differently. Okay. This isn't the answer because they're not as far along as they expected to be. If that's you, you're not broken. You're just due for a reset and focus. After all, if you spend every day working in your business, you'll never have time to work on your business. She's the first person to ever say that quote. Rise Elevate is a one-day experience designed to help you step out of the noise and really look at what you're building, to see where your energy is paying off and where it's quietly leaking. It's leaking in your urine because she's peeing all over the place. To stop spinning and start moving forward with intention again. What this day is and is not. Rise Elevate is designed for women who are already in motion. Okay, again, we said that before. It's very vague. I am moving. I'm moving and I'm shaking. Can I go? I guess this is code for it's expensive. It's for rich ladies. Pores. Okay. It's for founders, leaders, creatives, and professionals who value intentional growth and meaningful connection. The day blends strategic insight, focused reflection, and curated networking to create an environment where clarity and collaboration naturally unfold. This is not about consuming more content. It's about creating alignment around what matters most in your work. Okay, what can we expect? I'm expecting the world. For the price that you're saying this costs, I'm expecting $1 million in return. I'm expecting a lot. You can expect high-level perspective on focus. Who's giving this high-level perspective? You. And direction and momentum. Space to evaluate your goals with intention. So you're going to get some quiet time in the hotel lobby to ponder your goals. Opportunities to connect with like-minded women who are building ambitious, thoughtful careers and businesses. Okay, that's probably the only possible thing you really will get is networking with other people who are going. And essentially, if you're all going there to build your business, you might find someone that it's like going to college. Like you are in the same major, maybe you have some overlap, you become friends, they help you out 10 years down the line. I could see that. Conversations that move beyond small talk into real ideas and potential collaboration. Sure. A live taping of the Rachel Hollis podcast with a VIP guest that will inspire the heck out of you. Okay, this is a cop-out, I think, because she's making content in the time she's charging people, and we can do the math, but it's like $100 an hour to go for the lower ticket and even more for the VIP. An hour at least of that is going to be you recording a podcast. That seems like a double dip if I ever heard one. And it's not like your podcast is so exciting that, some big celebrity is going to come. It's going to be some grifter as well, I'm sure. Or it's going to be Kez. Probably, honestly, it's going to be Kez. It's going to be Kez, and they're going to talk about how much they're in love and how, there's such a great bond and duo and how to get your husband to support you like I got mine to. That's my prediction. We'll see. It ain't going to be Mel Robbins. It ain't going to be Mel Robbins because Mel Robbins costs a lot of money for some reason. And I don't think she wants to touch Rachel Hollis ever again. You'll leave with sharpened priorities, valuable new connections, and a clear sense of how to move forward strategically and confidently. The kind of room we're creating. Again, who's we? But all right. One of the things I've learned over the years is that what happens in the room matters more than what happens on the stage. Okay. Rise Elevate is intentionally designed to bring together women who are building meaningful work and who value depth over small talk. In our room, ambition is assumed. Conversations move fast. There's no posturing, no pretending, no explaining why you want more. I always wonder this about networking events because, again, I think there's value in them to some degree. I think they're overpriced, and typically you could probably find people without paying $1 million to, be forced to clap and stand there awkwardly. But how can you guarantee or sell on the precipice of other people who are buying tickets to this are going to not posture, not pretend, not have to explain? Like, you can't guarantee that. It could be a bunch of, people who've never made $1 in their life showing up to this. How can you make sure there's no application, I would guess, for this? You just buy a ticket. So I don't know. I don't like that. That's a nitpick, but gross. So sorry. It's the kind of room where you think better. Decide faster and leave sharper than you arrived. Why I'm building this now. She goes between we and I because she's pretending that there's a we, but she really is an I, and she's getting tired as she's writing this. And she's forgetting that she's a we. I'm leading Rise Elevate because this is the work I care about most. I care most about right now. I mean, at least that's fair. I'm leading Rise Elevate because this is the work I care most about right now. So tomorrow it'll be something different. Clarity, ownership. Again, don't know what ownership means. Clarity, fine. Ownership, I don't know what that means. Building success that actually feels good to live inside. Okay, that's a weird sentence. Everything I've learned from building businesses that lasted 2 years, writing books, and navigating growth over the last 2 decades shows up in this day. Not as theory, but as real practical guidance for women who are already doing the work and want to do better. I honestly think what happened to her is worst case scenario for a business owner, to hit a level of success and then lose it in 2 years and not be able to climb back. That is what everyone probably that has a business is fearful of. Like, well, even if I hit success, the other shoe's going to drop. I would rather stay away from her so that I don't see the reality of what could happen to me if I say something ridiculous on the internet. But okay, if you're feeling the pull, I've learned to trust that feeling. Rise Elevate isn't for everyone, and it's not supposed to be. Space is intentionally limited because the experience only works if the room feels right. But if you've been building something and quietly thinking, I need to zoom out, get clear, and move forward with confidence again, this might be exactly what you've been waiting for. Okay, let's reserve. And this is definitely AI. This photo right here that is in the background. It looks like we're giving a sermon at a church that's really trendy. Elevate your work, clarify the aim, move faster. Okay, we already talked about that. Buy your signature ticket. Okay, so we already basically saw all this. Why this day matters. Okay, the room. Is this you? Okay, you got Rise Fort. Here, move out of the way. Rise Fort Myers merch you can get. Retro, vintage. Looks like there's some stickers, a hat. It says ready to rise. Amazing. Ready to rise. Hashtag goals. We've done no growth since 2016. Okay, it's in Springdale Station, Austin, Texas. I'm not familiar. It's on March 20th from 9 a.m. to 4:30. You don't even get the full 8-hour day. Okay, this is a wedding venue. Oh my gosh, what if her and Kez get... Oh no, I got married. What if they renew their vows in front of the audience for 4 hours? Oh, that'll be such a VIP experience. So it's a small venue, but that makes sense for 200 people. It's nice. We're not just Austin's hidden gem, we're Austin's hidden diamond. Oh. Maybe the special VIP guest could be the female founder of this event space. Okay, anyways, back to it. Okay, we already talked about this. Here it is. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the day is intentionally structured to move you through reflection, strategy, and decision-making. Rise events combine guided teaching, individual work time, and meaningful discussion with fellow attendees. A midday networking luncheon will be thoughtfully prepared by our favorite local caterer, allowing you space to connect further with community. Our signature Rise workbook is included to help guide your thinking, capture breakthroughs, and anchor the work you're doing in real actionable steps. There's a Jamie Kern Lima over here, Miss Megan Merkel. Miss Megan Merkel. It's best friend and neighbor. Experience the energy of a live taping of the Rachel Hollis podcast featuring a surprise VIP guest. This candid, unscripted conversation will offer powerful insights, fresh perspective, and a behind-the-scenes look at the conversations shaping today's leaders. Okay, if you say so. Every part of the day, from the pacing to the environment, is designed to help you step out of your daily noise and into clarity, confidence, and forward momentum. Okay. Let me buy my signature ticket. How much will it cost? Do you have a guess? This is the non-VIP ticket. for one day. So from 9 to 4:30, right? So you got 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half hours. 7.5 hours. At least an hour of that's got to be lunch and networking. So, okay, let's do the math. This is $644 is the low price, okay? So 644 divided by, so smart, you guys. I learned this at a conference once. 644 divided by, I'll give her the 8 hours, even though it's not true. It's $80.50 an hour to go to this event. How do we feel about it to get the lowest price? Or you can do, of course, you can pay in installments and get $161 for every month. The taxes are $49. So there you go. It's actually $59,595, but there's tax. It's unfortunate. Stop it. Stop it. This is our most intimate event to date, but it won't be because actually the last one, if you were there, it was less. But the VIP access, $17.95. $17.95. So let me do my math again. To be a VIP, it's going to cost you $224 an hour for this event. Quite a lot, I think. And part of that, again, you got an hour lunch. You got an hour listening to her yap on a podcast. That's 2 hours. So you're basically, if you were to get core insights, you got 6 hours where you got to do it for $200 each of those hours. Okay, so there's 10 VIP guests, and those people get what extra? A private seated small group mastermind lunch with Rachel during the midday break. So the other people are going to their lunch, and then the 10 private people that she definitely is giving these tickets away, or she will upgrade some people. I don't think anyone in the world is paying $1,700. I'm sorry. I just don't. But you get a private mastermind lunch with her. A professional photo op and book signing with Rachel during that VIP luncheon. Ooh! I can't wait. A curated VIP gift bag featuring exclusive Rise merch and Rachel's favorite things. Okay, that might be something worth some money because I think she likes expensive things, so maybe you'll get like a nice candle or something. Sounds good. What do you think? Yeah? Come on. Come up on the table. The complete one-day experience. Okay, so that's just what this is, I'm assuming. A custom Rise workbook too. Okay, but you get that with that. And then a live taping of the Rachel Hollis podcast. So basically they're making it seem like this you get so much more, but this is just repeated over here. So, and allegedly it's sold out. I cannot imagine 10 people would have bought that. If they did, which I don't think they did. She would have made $17,950 from that. Okay, obviously. Now, the other one, if she sold out, which I don't think it will, let's say $595 times 200, she would be $119,000. So all in from this event, without the cost, let's see, it would be about $136,000. About. I'm not doing that math correctly. Total. So then subtract the taxes she's got to pay, subtract the cost of the space. She's probably making, if she was to sell out everything, she's probably making $100,000, which, hey, that's pretty good for one day of work, I will say. But can she do it? I don't believe so. And I can't check. It's not like a regular venue where I can check to see how many tickets have or have not sold. But thank you to Lydia Lewis. Before I continue, thank you so much to Lydia Lewis. Thanks for being you. Well, you're so welcome. That's the only person I can be, unless I'm faking it. And then I can be someone else. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No one's knocking on their door telling them to stop because there is no door.
Whoa, that's deep. That's so deep.
narcissistic, bully, cult leader.
That's for you, Lydia. Just kidding.
Oh, okay. Cult.
I don't know anything more cultish than that. This spells cult, C-U-L-T.
What do we think? Do you think she's going to make these sales? I don't think so. I don't think so. But let's hear her sell it. Okay, let's hear her sell. I think she hasn't done a hard sell on her podcast. I don't believe. I haven't watched it, to be fair. Your goals aren't the problem. Your systems are. How to stop playing small and become the hero of your life. These are all just, motivational videos, it looks like, with stock video. She needs to update this. This is old. Hi, I'm Rach. I live in LA with my family, 4 kids, 3 at home, 1 at college, and my handsome English husband. Outdated. Okay. Let's go to her Instagram. Has she been talking? What is she talking about here?
Imagine that this represents all of the knowledge that exists in the world. Literally all of the knowledge. Every single bit of advice, every bit of wisdom, every person who has ever lived, all of the knowledge is encapsulated in this circle. This is the universe of knowledge. You are the red dot in the middle of the circle. If you had to draw
Wow, I'm so glad that there's a visual representation. I wouldn't be able to follow along otherwise.
a circle around yourself that represents how much knowledge of all the knowledge you currently have, how big would the circle be? I'll do it for myself. That barely bigger than myself. Which means, of all the knowledge that exists in the universe and all the knowledge that you currently have, do you think it's possible that the answer to what you're struggling with is here?
No, it's not there. It's in the circle. No. Sorry.
Do you think in the
This is how she's speaking to me. Like I'm an idiot child.
wisdom of time and the wisdom of the ancients, in the books, in the literature, in the movies, in the YouTube, in the podcast, in the internet, in the AI, in all of it, do you think that it's possible that the solution to every single thing you want in your life is available here?
Yeah.
I do. I think that your solutions are here. I think that the equation to get you the sum that you want, the variables, the constants, I think that exists. But you have to be willing to experiment to find out what works for you. Imagine that this represents all of...
What? I don't understand. I'm too stupid. She does talk about ice. And, I think she got she got a nudge from her fellow celebs. And they said, hey, you better say something because people are getting pissed. She did turn off her comments, though. I don't think it's worth watching. But I guess good for her. Glad. Do I think she did it out of wanting to actually help? No. I think she did it to not face criticism. I think every person who does that, I personally think if you're not a political figure, it's not really up to you to say something because it just becomes self-serving. It's like celebrities going to natural disasters. Sure, you could, you should, maybe, but does that make me think, oh, wow, that celebrity is such a good person, or oh, she's such a good person? No, I don't know. I know a lot of people, Brittany Broski, she's the woman who, she's got a podcast and she did the famous meme where she was like trying kombucha and she's like, and then she's like, oh, that girl. She always gets in trouble for not speaking out. I'm like, I get it, what people are saying, but she's just like a comedy podcaster. I don't think she should be commenting on political stuff. It's just wanting people to, I don't know. I think it's your right to say what you want. It's also your right to not say what you don't want. Does that make sense? Anyways. Okay, what is this? This one is, someone asked her a question. How do I stop holding back and sharing my enthusiasm for life and being big in my energy? Who would ask this question in a million years? Hey, Rachel, I'm just really struggling with holding back on sharing my enthusiasm with life. I don't know. There's medicine for that. Maybe that's more complicated because it's not a real complaint that anyone in this human world would have.
Confidence comes from competence, and competence comes from doing something over and over. So at first, you might feel very insecure to just show up as yourself, your big, bold, beautiful, lively, loving life kind of self. That might feel awkward in the beginning because society has trained you to play small. But the more you do it, the better you're going to feel. And the better you feel doing it, the more confident.
Doing what? Doing what? And what does playing small mean? I heard that so much when I was at these motivational conferences. They all said, stop playing small. You know what stop playing small means? Pay big money for whatever I'm selling you. That's what that means, translated. Okay, just so we all know.
Confident you are going to be in being yourself. And here's the crazy thing that happens when you just act like yourself. You are a magnet for people who like people like you. And you are a repellent for people who can't stand people like you. And even though the world tells us that we are supposed to try and please everybody, I am here to tell you that you want it to be that clear. You know, God, open every door for someone who is like me and wants this vibe, and the doors that are not for me, slam them in my face. Confidence.
I'm not following, and I don't know if I'm just becoming less lucid over time. I used to kind of follow her logic and all these gurus' logic. I just thought it was dumb, and now I'm not even following at all. I'm like, wait, what? Maybe I've gotten out of the matrix. Maybe I've escaped. I've disconnected my tubes.
As you laugh while you're getting ready for bed, instead of praying to God, you're praying, I'm dead.
Okay. She's not selling the photo dump, or I guess video dump. Okay. She's got nice makeup on. She's walking in the snow. Okay, what else? I'm trying to go so I can see everything. She's walking. She's showing us that she's walking. Running. Eating a bowl of food. Working out in her gym with Uggs. Skiing. She's definitely putting her kids on camera again, which I don't like, but okay. Her kids shoveling. Her getting her makeup done. Her typing. Her teaching valuable lessons to women who are stupid. More makeup. Braiding her hair at the ski lodge. Cooking. Looking at her hair. Eating a pastry. I'm shocked that Kez let her do that. Standing. Recording. Something. Snow. Eating a chip. Skiing. Something. I don't know what that was. Her computer. At 4 a.m, probably. I'm assuming that's what she meant to show us that she's up at 4:44 before us all because she's better than us and everyone else. Very nice hallway. What is this? A locker room? Something. Beautiful. Walking in the town. Running again. Her kid. She's got a hat on. Another hat on, running. Okay, this is something I did want to talk about. So this is her birthday cake. It is beautiful. I guess Kez made it for her. I don't know where people got that. Like I guess because there's a story of him putting the cake in the oven at one point. So I guess that's where it came from. Beautiful. He's talented as an artist, honestly. However, looking upon this cake, happy birthday, Rachel. Okay, all the kids' names are on it. His name's on it. Okay, fine. Skiing. Okay, as far as I know, that's Kez's favorite activity that Rachel pretends to like so that she can be married. Coffee. Okay, that's something she likes. Fire. Maybe she likes that. Champagne, definitely. A bird. I think that's his thing. As far as I'm concerned, he likes birds. So he's putting a bird on there for himself. I think he's putting skis on them for himself. I think this could be camping, which I don't think Rachel would like doing. She's got some books. Okay, that's good. So she's got a couple things running, but he also is a runner, apparently. And then this is a different cake. Totally different cake. So I'm confused as to where that other cake, maybe that was an AI cake, honestly, that last image. Because this is not she had 2 cakes? I doubt it. Anyways, and apparently she was supposed to have a party, but this doesn't look like much of a party, which is fine, but okay. 2 chickens. Skiing. I don't know what that was. Coffee. Walking. There you go. We went through it all. Yeah, and she does look good. I think her makeup does look really good, especially in this first shot. So she's getting it professionally done to do TikTok videos, I guess. Who knows? That's what I do. I get mine done every day as well, if you can't notice. Did you notice my professional makeup or not? Okay. This is another fake question. Single mom of 2, working full-time, college part-time, additional sources of income when time, energy limited? Here's her answer.
Okay, real talk that honestly people don't talk about enough. You can't just keep adding things to your schedule. So it looks like you're a single mom of 2, you work full-time and you go to college part-time, and you're looking for additional sources of income when your energy is already limited. I could tell you a bunch of ideas and like side hustles and things, but that's not going to serve you well because
She could. That would really help your financial situation. She could help you, but she's not going to. Yeah, okay.
if you don't have the capacity to take it on, you will just burn yourself out. And you can't burn yourself out because you got to take care of those babies. So what it actually looks like to add something to your life is that you have to be willing to give something up. The
kids would be her suggestion. Just leave them at your husband's house or your ex-husband's house, whatever.
part-time school is taking the place of the part-time side hustle. And that sounds like a fantastic idea if school is leading you to a place where you can make more money so you could better support your kids, right? But we don't have an infinite capacity to do all the things. It looks like editing, not adding.
So what's the answer? You just be broke in the meantime? I guess. Thanks, Rachel. I would have loved to hear your side hustle tips, but I guess we're not worthy, I suppose. Okay. Okay, so this one is her other one. Her other video. She is who she is. She has not changed from when she was with Dave in a lot of ways. This is a 3% bracelet moment where she's talking about what motivates her to run. And at least she's being honest, because I think before, and I didn't follow her closely before the scandal, so I could be wrong, but I don't think she was as open about her competitive nature as she is now. And again, I'm pretty competitive as a person, so I struggle with playing a pickleball game and not taking it seriously and not really wanting us to win, which there's zero stakes. So I understand that type of mentality where you just, it gets so exciting to win and to try hard. And I don't know, I miss like being in high school sports and stuff. And it's like any opportunity that there is a game I'm playing, I want to take it serious. But when it becomes competing with your partners, competing with your children, that's where I go, okay, well, seek help in this area. That's not how you should treat your loved ones, in my opinion, to a certain point. Friendly competition, fine, but what's driving you to do the activity in the first place is just to beat your partner? That I don't get. Okay, but I'll let her explain.
Okay, this is so absolutely stupid, but I'm going to show you guys how I prep for
Oh,
a
I'm
run,
looking at Angela, sorry.
to get myself to run more miles. So the first thing that I'm going to do, well, honestly, the first thing that I'm going to do is I had a little homemade nut butter and a little local honey, like a spoonful of each, mixed it together. So I got some sugar. I had some B12 that's going to give me a little bit of energy, but this is the move. This is the magic. Like I'm going to go to, this is not an ad, but I'm going to go to my Nike Run app, right? And then I'm going to go into the most important place in the Nike Run app, which is the leaderboard. Now my leaderboard only has my family. It's got my husband and my 2 teenage sons. But what I'm going to do is look at the difference between where I am currently in the month and where my husband is currently in the month. Oh, he's not that far ahead of me. So 3 miles, if I run 3 miles today, I will be ahead of Kez. And that is exactly what we're going to do, which is ridiculous and competitive. And he doesn't even know I'm competing with him in that way. But I'll tell you what, gets me to run more miles than I would have otherwise. So come along for the ride.
Hey, here.
What do y'all think about that? I don't know. I guess I think it's bad, I suppose. I know I'm biased, obviously, but I don't think... If she didn't say the name Kez, you could have just assumed this was Dave. This was an old video of her and Dave's relationship. It's so interesting that Kez is the most evolved human that has ever walked the earth, yet it has not changed her to become a more evolved partner. at all. Oh, and before I go on, I'm so sorry to Angela Arnold, the real VIP of the night. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on, let me give you a boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody say, hey-oh, hey-oh. Oh, was that loud? I'm sorry. Remember that meme? Boom, boom, boom. Everybody say, way-ho, way-ho. That was a throwback. Shout out Shannon. Hey, she put me onto that meme. Okay, sorry. Angela Arnold says she dropped the woo hippie stuff. Yeah, she's back to Jesus. I've noticed Jesus made a comeback in Rachel's life. I think that is a good idea, honestly, for her, is to stick with what worked. And it really was, I'm a successful woman and I'm Christian. I'm a successful woman and I have a husband and kids. That was why she grew so fast, because a lot of women don't want to choose one or the other. They want both. But we found out that it doesn't work that way. That's a myth and a legend, and it doesn't last forever, and you're actually going to divorce your husband any day now. And you're just lying about it. So anyways, so yes, I agree with you, Angela, that Whoopi Goldberg is no longer in Rachel's life. Rachel has dropped the woo-woo hippie stuff for the most part. She probably still adheres to it in some degree because Kez is into it, so she's probably into it, but she knows it's not working for her content, so she's cut back on saying it. Now she's saying God and Jesus and I don't know, some other iterations of that. Okay, here's her outfit. And she also, remember, I just love pointing this stuff out. Not that it matters in any real way. But remember 3 years ago, she went on every podcast she did, because I listened to them all back then. Kaz and I don't buy clothes. People who buy new clothes are ruining the environment, and which they are. Okay, I'm not saying they're not, but this is her. And we have a rule in our relationship. This is the worst impression of Rachel ever. Okay, let me try to do a better one. Okay. Get into character and scene. Okay. You guys, Kez and I, we don't buy new clothes. We only buy vintage. We have a rule in my family. This is so bad. And we always follow it. Every day, forever. We will only buy clothes that have been worn at least once. And when I travel, I will have to break rules to dress myself. Anyways, okay, horrible. But now she's going to talk about all her Lulu sets and this brand, and I love clothes, and I'm a fashion girl now. And these are new clothes. Whatever. She's like, my only rule is I won't buy used underwear, but that's it. Everything else I buy is to save the world. That lasted about 6 months. Okay, here we go. Continuing.
Here's what we're wearing. Lulu. Nike. Solomon's, because it is icy and it is snowy and we don't want to die. It is 8 degrees outside. So you can't play with that kind of cold. I've been testing different temperatures. When I first got here, I was like, well, as long as it's above 20. And now I'm like, as long as it's above 0. But it does mean that you don't look all that cute when you run. But honestly, if you wanted someone who looked cute when she ran, you wouldn't be following me. Oh, this is what? Patagonia. This is Lulu. This puffer vest is so good.
So what are we thinking? 100, 100, 200, 300. She's got a $500 fit right now. 600, let's say. Not too shabby for a young up-and-coming mogul.
In a cold weather run, we're going to go beanie because it's cold as heck, and also because I don't want to get run over by a tractor. You got to have an opening song. I go through these waves of the same opening song. Every single time I start running, it's going to be the same song because it's going to trigger something in my brain that we're going. My current opening song.
Just run. I don't need it. We don't need this video. But okay. I guess we do.
Like the last month, Hail Holy Queen from Sister Act. Dolores and the Sisters. You're welcome.
Whoopee! I manifested that, you guys. I woman-fested the Whoopi reference. I had no idea. For real. I couldn't say the word hippie, and then I said Whoopi, and she was about to talk about Whoopi. The world is at my control. I pull all the levers. I deserve it all. Abundance. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. I just blacked out.
The mango frequency
It's so quantum.
Okay, sorry.
In advance.
Who would have ever thought in a million years that Whoopi would be on the screen right now? Can't make it up. Philly Turned Texan. Thank you so much. Philly Turned Texan says, she and hubby number 2 should compete to see who can stay off the internet the longest. Kez will win that because he barely posts, which we appreciate him. We don't need him to be... we don't need him on the internet.
Mic drop, homie.
He can stay in the background of Rachel's videos forever. But that's what happened. Wait, just you wait. He'll be making a leather-bound journal any day now and selling AG1 and giving advice to men to be better husbands to their wives at the next Rise couples conference.
We're talking about something awful, terrible, the unimaginable.
But just remember, Philly Turned Texan.
There's nothing more whole than a broken heart.
Amen. As Whoopi would say, amen.
Back to the swallowing.
Okay, back to it. Thank you, Philly Turned Texan.
Okay. I just passed 2 miles, which is where I would have stopped if I didn't make this challenge for myself. And gift from God, Golden just came on.
Oh my God. That's her background screen is a picture of Kez. You have 4 children. Get a grip. Weird. Okay. Also, aren't you, I guess, as Angela Arnold pointed out, she no longer is a hippie, a Whoopi hippie anymore. So you don't have to honor your body. You don't have to let your body decide what you should run. You should use false competition with your loved ones as the motivation to push your body further than it should. Because she just said she would stop normally at 2 miles because she feels done or whatever. But she's going to push herself to do the 1 more so that she can win a fake competition that she's created in her head. Okay.
We did it, guys. We did 3 miles. Look, I think that it's easy to look at people do workouts or runs or things that you admire and think that like they have some magic you don't have, or like, oh, they've done it forever, so it's easy.
You just have to have unmedicated anger problems. You just have to have a really toxic way of loving somebody in your life, and then you can accomplish any goal. Take it from me.
I've been running for 10 years. I still have to trick myself. I still have to motivate myself. I still have to find little ways to get myself going. And once I'm going, I'm fine. But if you fall out of it, which we do in the course of our life, you're going to have to do something to get yourself back in. So whatever that looks like for you today, whether you're trying to get to like 10 miles for the first time or half a mile for the first time, just freaking put your tennis shoes on and go. Okay. I love you. And I'm rooting for you. Bye.
Just freaking fight your husband. Just freaking do it. Okay. Well, that's it. There's no hard sell video, which I'm surprised about. It might be in one of her YouTube videos, but I'm not willing to watch. Okay, maybe I will watch a little. Are we willing to watch, or do we want to move on to Epstein files? We're only 49 minutes in. Oh gosh, not again. This happens every time. Okay, let me pull it up. Let's just see. I'm assuming if it is in her YouTube channel, it would be the last one. Your goals aren't the problem. Let's see. And then we'll go to Epstein.
If you've ever gotten really excited about a goal, the new year starts and you lay one out and you think, this is who I'm gonna be, and you write it down, and maybe you build a vision board, and maybe you sign up for the course, you do the whole thing, and then slowly you watch your follow through completely fall apart. If you're like most people, that goal isn't even part of your everyday
Wait, hold on.
fall apart. If you're like most people,
No classroom in America looks like this anymore. I will say. I don't think. I haven't been in a classroom in quite a while, but even when I was in school, we had electronics.
that goal
This is in her new house in New York. This is a real photo, okay? This is what she left LA for. She's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with the homeless population. I'm going to my new house. Here it is.
goal isn't even part of your everyday life come February. But here's the thing. Our community, we did something really incredible
Who's we? Who are these people?
in last month's class. We didn't talk about habits. We didn't talk about getting up at 5 a.m. or doing a polar plunge every single morning. What we did,
And it killed me because that's all I wanted to talk about with myself. What is this? Is this AI? She's really embraced the AI lately. Aiming at only one stinking goal for the entire year. What? Why is it stinking? And the one is stinking. Based on The One Thing by Gary Keller. Builds focus by putting all momentum and power into one area. So what's her one area? The Rise Conference? Ew.
was call our shot. But here's the thing that you need to understand
Also this music, crazy.
right now. A goal does not change anything.
What?
A system
What?
does.
Oh.
We began this year by naming the goal. We focused on what instead of how. Most people will come up with a goal, then immediately follow through with exactly what they're going to.
I think she's, because we had the same microphone. I have the same microphone as a billionaire or a multimillionaire. I don't think it's working though, because it sounds too airy. I don't think she's either got the settings wrong or it's not plugged in correctly.
To do to get there. They'll get a bunch of ideas. They'll try a bunch of different things. And because they don't establish any kind of
I will say I like her outfit though. Okay, I don't care. But let's see at the end. Let's see if she pitches the event.
when you are going to build these great habits in your life. So this year, we are releasing a premium version of the podcast. This is for those members of our community who are really interested in personal development, who want community of other people who are into the same stuff. And the theme for this year is, how do you reset? How do you become the next version of you? What are the actual steps that you take to get from here to there? So if that sounds interesting,
This was recorded in the LA house. I can tell by the beautiful staircase that you left and abandoned.
on the premium version of the podcast, we do a monthly deep dive episode. You get a downloadable workbook. And lastly,
This is hilarious. You're a Rachel apologist. You're going to join her sex cult because her makeup is nice, Kia. Well, shoot me, okay? I like a good eyeliner. She's not even wearing eyeliner. I don't even know how to wear eyeliner anymore, by the way. I turned 30. I'm 34 now. When I turned 30, eyeliner no longer worked anymore. I don't know. My eyes became hooded over. And now it's over for me.
all of the podcast episodes are at
Okay. All right, Rachel, thank you so much. We'll be back on March 21st to see if Rachel has 200 people who paid her $100,000 to listen to her talk about herself again for the 15th time in life. I kind of want to go back, and I don't know how you guys feel about this. I kind of want to go back to the podcast. I'm sure she paid for it now that the time has passed. The one with the annoying couple. What is it called? They're like scammers also. But that was the one podcast where she said, I'm overdoing Rise. I'll never do it again. I'm over giving advice. And yet here we are. Once again, she's back on the saddle. Rachel Hollis interview. What's that podcast called? I know everyone, it's like very famous now. And in the beginning, they were like, cancellation. They're like, this is not a safe space. Shut up. Shut up, you guys. I wish there was a video. Oh, the Skinny Confidential. Him and her show. Skinny. Let me see if maybe they did put it online. Rachel Hollis. Let's see. I wish. Oh, the video's down. Damn it. They did have her on there. Did they private it? Damn it. Wow. I wonder, because there's accusations that you don't have to, but people can pay these clowns, the Skinny Confidential people, to get like platform and basically say whatever you want them to say if you give them enough money. And that used to be against the law. That used to be like payola plugola. There was rules. Now it's all free for all, so I don't know. But I have a feeling that she paid to go on and then got the idea or the availability to say, cut it. Because where is this video? Now I'm hooked. Now I want to listen to it again. Okay, let's see. Can we listen to it at least? Or do they
The following podcast
pull it fully from the internet?
A CTT to deliver hydration to the 15.
fantastic.
Is I will outwork you. I will be the first one there. I will be the last one to leave. I will do whatever needs to be done.
Unless this is old. This must be a different one. Okay, never mind. This is a different one. Where's the one where they're talking about, she's talking about being canceled?
You feel
Here's the TikTok about it. This is in 2022.
the way you got dragged was appropriate.
I feel like if cancel culture was actually about caring whether or not the person was learning from their mistakes, it would be one thing, but it's not. It's about who can make the comment that gets the most likes or who can say the thing that's the biggest singer. That sort of circus that happened was crazy and felt crazy to be inside of for me. But if it hadn't been as painful as it was, I wouldn't have done the work that I did. I never.
What work was that? She read a book about racism and she changed.
In a million years think that I could have gotten on the internet and said something that made my fan base feel like suddenly this wasn't a safe space. I did that and I have to own it. And yes, so much stress and so many things behind the scenes and all of it that I think kept me from seeing what it was. And so I ended up writing something myself just because I felt like I have to say something about this. And then that was like, it's not enough. You didn't say I'm sorry in the right way. You didn't say it to the full extent.
God. She's talking about her apology, which I hate. I'm lying. I'm about to say, I hate to harp on. No, I love to harp on. That was really she could have withstood the toilet gate, I think, because there were people on her side still. It was crazy what she said, but people have said worse and have survived. It was the throwing her team under the bus after she got in trouble for this, because she's like, oh, I hired a PR team. They forced me at gunpoint to hire a PR team, and they put out a statement that I didn't agree with. So now I'm going to say what I want to say. And it was horrible. And the first apology, they pulled it down, or she pulled it down, because it was like, I guess I'm sorry for being a great badass woman. I guess I'm sorry for being hot and better than you. I guess I'm sorry that you don't like me anymore because I'm popular. Like, that was the vibe of that apology. I can probably find it too. I kind of want to go down this rabbit hole if you'll join me. It's been a while. It's been 5 years. They're about to celebrate their 10-year anniversary next year. We need to cap this. And this is the first video that I did on Rachel and I was doing exclusively at the time people on the internet lying about having cancer. and then I switched over to this one. So let's go to the, just want to go to the, oh my God, this is so funny. This is a throwback. Remember when she was selling Rosa Parks, Rosa Parks t-shirts on her website? God, what a time. What a time that Rachel Hollis, within 5 years, no, let's say, within a decade of today, was selling t-shirts for children of Rosa Parks. I find that so odd. Before I continue down this road, Asari Shepherd, thank you so much. Asari says, Kez is going to leave your insanity, Rach. I don't know. I think, and I can't figure them out. No one can figure them out, I don't think. Even in the Reddit, like no one really knows what his money situation is, if he's rich or he's not. He's got some money probably, but I would imagine that she's got more. And just the way that she talks about him sometimes, she seems to insinuate that he doesn't bring much to the table other than his aura and his calm Yoda-like personality. So I would guess he's probably in it for the long haul. and if they signed a prenup, he'll never leave. I'm not going to leave you, babe.
I had a thriving wild stallion of Eros.
So he's got that. Wow, I forgot about that. Okay. Let's find the... Okay, I stole it from Savvy, and now this is 3 layers of throwback. This was her old... Look how youthful I was. See, this is when I was allowed to wear eyeliner. I was still, I think, 29 at this time. I had my nails done, my eyeliner on. Look at me now. Fallen from grace. Okay, so this is her first apology, right? Someday I'll learn. Not yet, apparently, but someday. Okay, that's a good opener. Then it says, someday I'll learn that my intent and my impact can be wildly different things. I made a post last week that was upsetting to people, and even though that was never my intent, I own that it was, and I apologize. She's like, I didn't mean to be rude. I guess it was, so I apologize for that. Was my post upsetting because I said I have someone who cleans my house twice a week? No, idiot. Sorry, that's mean. I shouldn't say those words. No, girl. It was because you said it was a sweet woman who cleans your toilets. That's why. That's part of the reason why. You're missing the point on purpose. And it says, I've talked a lot about this over the years. I have a nanny. I have someone who helps with cleaning. I have a team at work who helps to build this business, and I think it's crucial that I keep talking about it. I could very easily pretend that I don't have any assistants. So there's her threat. I could just lie to you guys, even though she was doing that actively at this time. She's saying, I could lie even more to you guys. You should be grateful I tell you anything about my life, you peasants. Okay. I'm sure it would make my brand more likable and certainly more relatable if I act like I achieve all these things through hard work and organization, but that's bullshit. You don't have to have a clean house or help with your kids or a business with 25 employees. But if you see those things in my life and wonder how they got there, I want you to know that it's a group effort, a whole village, in fact. Gosh, this is giving me life. Why was my post upsetting? Because I mentioned some of my favorite women in history? Okay. Just for one quick second, let's revisit that who she brought up, where she compared herself to. This is the caption of that. This was her caption to Toiletgate. We often forget this part of the story. This is her caption. Harriet Tubman, RGB, Marie Curie, Oprah Winfrey, Amelia Earhart, Frida Kahlo, Malala Yousafzai, Wu Zetian, all unrelatable AF. Happy Women's History Month. God, what a time to be alive. Oh, what a time. What did she really thought that was going to eat? She really thought that is going to freaking sell the shit out of planners at Target. Oh. And the funniest one was that I thought was Wu Zetian, I don't know, I'm saying it wrong probably. But she was like a empress who murdered people. Or murdered at least one person. I'm like, what? That's how she got into power. So that is, unrelatable, I suppose. You're right. But that's who you compare yourself to because you have a sweet woman who cleans your toilets twice a week. Seek help immediately. Okay, before I continue. Uh, sorry, Shepard. Thank you so much. Sorry says, oh, so Rach needed a lesser than hubby. Got it. Yes, of course. Of course. She yes. The answer, all I could say, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does she need a better than her husband?
No.
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 And we're going to get to him, this guy. We're going to get to this guy later.
No.
Just you wait. Okay. We just got to finish this out. Okay. I could easily lie to you guys. You should be so lucky to know that I have a house cleaner. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. This one is even harder for me because those women are the most badass I could think of. Someone on my team said, I think people believe you're comparing yourself to them. Comparing myself to the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, the first and only female monarch in the history of China, again, who like killed to get there, to the most inspiring woman in American history who freed herself and then risked her life repeatedly to lead others out of slavery, there's no comparison. Yeah, we know, but there was definitely a vibe that that's exactly what you were doing, right? All of us under this umbrella of us, unrelatable AF. So if that was not your intention, you should have reworded it. Duh. Anyways. To believe that because I mentioned them, you wrote the caption. You didn't casually mention them in a conversation, but okay. To believe that because I mentioned them, I'm comparing myself to them is ludicrous. Do I aspire to be as brave, as fierce, to live life on my own terms and hopefully inspire other women to do the same? Hell yes. But I cannot now or ever compare myself to those women, and I don't want to. I don't want to try and be the next fill in the blank. I'd like to try and be the first me. So if anything, with this part of the apology, it was like, I don't want to be like Amelia Earhart. I want to be better and different than her, actually. Makes it so much worse. Okay, it's almost over. That was where things started. But because I still haven't learned, I didn't respond to these things on Friday when I heard that people were upset. I listened to my team instead of my gut. If I would have just listened to me, everything would be perfect right now. And as we know, that's not true. Anyways, that was her apology that she said on that interview. Okay, which is somewhere here, maybe. What did I do with that? I don't know. But she, that was the interview where she was like, people didn't like my apology. I didn't say it the right way. I didn't say sorry the right way. You thought that was the right way? You thought that was the right way to apologize. That's the problem. Herein lies the problem. Okay. Sorry. Thank you again. For you, again, this is for you, as always.
I took a pill in Ibiza. No, I didn't take any pills.
Sorry, it says her brand is being relatable and she killed it. Yeah, she killed it. I related to it greatly. I related to it in the sense of when I say something insane and then I double down on it and I don't apologize. That's how I related to that.
I'm sorry you're upset.
That's what she said. That's what Rachel said in her post.
I'm sorry you're upset.
But I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
I do not give a fuck.
Totally. Anyways, so we don't have to listen to the I do want to listen to it though. I want to just find it. Let me just look for the interview because that was so crazy that she was like, oh my God, I can't believe people didn't like my apology. And that was erased from the internet. The only person who had it that I knew of was Savvy. That's why I had to like screenshot her video to get it because she pulled it down within a certain amount of time and it just was scrubbed, which is shocking and rare. Let me see. Rachel Dang Hollis interview. Cancellation, skinny, confidential. I wonder if they deleted it for real. We have a pod script. Maybe I can just find it and read it. There's a lift outside of my house. Can you hear it? Man, don't know. I think it might be gone. I guess we'll have to watch my video again on it. Because I'm clicking here. Oh, no, it's here. Okay. Let's just see. Like, guys.
The following podcast.
Guys, this is not a safe space. Except for Rachel. She gets a safe space.
Major realness.
Welcome to the Skinny Confidential. Him and her.
She's like, there's a big difference between your intention and your impact. Your intention was like, oh, I want to speak to other people like me and maybe inspire, whatever. But your impact is what you have to take responsibility for. And I like the amount of therapy, coaching, processing, books, what has happened because of that experience. I am a different human because of the experience.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I was talking a little quieter just now. That clip was from our guest of the show today, Rachel Hollis. And we got a juicy one for you today, guys.
So juicy.
We go all over the place. We get deep with Rachel. And what's interesting is we've known Rachel for a little while now, but we haven't talked to her since 2018. Lauren, I was just looking up the episode, episode 129.
The heyday.
So we're all the way up in the 400s now. So this is like 300 episodes ago that we first talked to Rachel. And keep in mind, when we first talked to her, I think this was right around the time Girl Wash Your Face was kind of taking off. I don't know if it was in every airport all over the place. Her brand was definitely not what it's become, which is this massive platform. She was married at the time, pre-divorce. So these are two completely different conversations. And I think it's kind of interesting to compare them just because of where she was then to where she is now.
I found Rachel to be incredibly vulnerable in this episode. Yeah. I think a lot of things that she said will surprise the audience. I think
her name is Lauren, this chick. She, at every turn when Rachel would sort of say something that was like, I do need to take responsibility, she'd go, but you have kids. How could you take responsibility when you have children? You can't do that. You can't have a job and children. Everyone knows that. It's like, what are you talking about? I guess that's maybe what Rachel paid her to say. I don't know. Because it was very odd. It was like, lots of people have kids and don't compare themselves to Oprah Winfrey and Harriet Tubman.
Michael and I are here as a media outlet to showcase all different kinds of opinions. And this episode is one that's worth listening to. I also am a huge fan in my life of hearing where people are coming from. It's something that totally. I'm a very curious person. I'm interested. Instead of just shutting down conversation, I like to open my ears and listen for a minute.
Well, I imagine there's some new listeners just because, Rachel's a big name and she's obviously draws listeners and guests and platform. And for those new listeners, I just want to give you a disclaimer right ahead of time. This is not a safe space. This podcast has not been built to be a safe space. It was never meant to come out and make you only feel good. Safe spaces are places where you never feel challenged, where you don't have to stretch yourself, where you feel comfortable, right? This is not that podcast and it never has been. So I just want to put that out there for anybody that's new to the show and hasn't been here for a while. For those that have been, obviously they get that. And the reason
Disney Channel may be a better outlet.
Well, the reason I share.
The irony is they coddled her so much and would not let her actually take responsibility for anything. So it's like, what do you think a safe space is?
That is because Lauren and I have conversations with all walks of life, all different backgrounds, some loved, some hated.
Don't listen around your kids.
And we have different kinds of conversations all the time. We can have a conversation with an angel and at the same time have one with Satan himself. It doesn't really matter to us.
I had a dime for every time someone told me that I needed to delete an episode or take someone down or not interview them because of X, Y, Z. I would be a billionaire.
Oh, you'll never guess what just happened. Taro knocked down the treats from my desk and is now trying to jump to eat some. I'm going to allow it because that was very smart of her. I don't think too many fell out, if any. You're not going to beat the allegations of that I'm overfeeding you, Taro. Okay, sorry.
Michael Bostic.
Yeah, listen, if we haven't taken that advice for the last 4, 5, 6 years, however long we do this in the last 500 episodes, we're not going to take it now. So for those of you that are willing to kind of hear a different perspective, challenge yourself, not be so upset about not being in a safe space, this one's for you. And for those that need to be coddled and stay in a safe space, maybe turn it off. With that,
What are you talking about? Like, what are you off on? This is not a real problem that you have on this stupid podcast.
Rachel Hollis, welcome back to the Skinny Confidential, him and her show.
This is the
Sorry. Thank you so much. Sorry, Shepard says, Rach as a parent must be insufferable. So she can't admit she made a huge mistake, but more than likely expects perfection from them. Kill me now. Yeah, well, you know, motherhood is tough, and you just gotta make sure your kids do what you didn't do. You gotta take all your flaws and make sure your kids are perfect at those. That's what motherhood's all about. That's what I always said. I didn't learn how to swim. My child will be pushed in the ocean.
I'm proud to be proud of you. I need attention. I need help.
Me every day. Walking the streets.
I need attention. I need help.
I'm scared.
Why am I so emotional?
I cried in ocean.
Those are all thoughts I have on a daily basis. Okay, sorry.
18's the last time you've been
Right.
lots happened
Thanks,
for
Asari.
you, to you, with you.
Oh my gosh.
About you.
Yeah, it's honestly, I mean, it feels like a lifetime from 2018 to where we are today. And I'm trying to remember if the book, had the book come out? Is that why it came on the show last time? The Girl Wash Your Face come out?
It was coming out, right? I think that's like you were
okay.
promoting it, right? Or like
Okay,
we
got
were
it.
talking about it.
How crazy.
Like a lot's gone on.
Yeah. So that book utterly changed.
The crazy part is even more happened after this. This was just the tip of the iceberg of what was coming. This was when Dave was still alive.
My life, changed my business, all of it, totally unexpectedly. I had been sort of hustling in obscurity for 8 or 9 years. And that book came out. It was my 6th book. So I have 5 books before that nobody really cared about. And then this book just hit some sort of nerve.
Was everywhere.
Was everywhere, sold millions and millions and millions of copies, still sells a shit ton of copies today, and went sort of from like hustling to, oh my God, now I'm overwhelmed and there's so much opportunity and how do you decide? And so it was pretty wild. That was 2018. 2019 was sort of the life I had dreamed of, the most success I could have imagined, the most money I could imagine, speaking opportunities everywhere, which was always what I had dreamed of, podcast explodes, the whole thing. And it was the most miserable year of my entire life because the amount of work required to stay at that pace and to keep producing and all of it was so overwhelming. And I couldn't be the mom I wanted to be. I was on the road constantly. And
I just want to hear what she's saying, what she wants to do now. Siloed and ashamed. When you're boost yourself. Oh, educating herself, books, navigating brutal divorce and unfair public judgment. Unfair public judgment. Okay. The paradox of women attacking women online. Wow. Engaging in enriching projects. Okay. Here it is. It's got to be at the end. From chasing fame to finding inner peace. Baby, I know. I'm so sorry. You want to come back up?
You say to the Rachel who posted that video, what would the Rachel now say to her? What's that evolution look like? How have you changed?
I know this sounds like BS, but I wouldn't take it back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take the experience back.
Somebody just mentioned some kind of, was it a Harvard or Stanford study?
That's interesting that she just said that.
We just heard this. Somebody said that people that go through hardships in life, the professor, I'm going to, what's the term you use
Naomi
about that?
said it from Southern Charm.
But what's the term you use about that?
Loose tea.
Loose tea. Yeah, this is loose tea. But basically the gist of it was they said, go up there and write all the hardest thing you've ever gone through in your life and put it on the whiteboard and say, okay, now that it's up there, say you can go up there and erase it. But if you erase it, you take away all of the lessons you've learned, all the experience from there. Would you erase it? And they said not one person in the class actually went and erased that. Right? It's like, these are the types of things that make us who we are and make us hopefully better.
Right. I think too, it really severed whatever emotional connection I had with a social media brand, like with my brand on social media, because I had come up in that world. That's how I built my business. That's how I did all of these things. And so there was this, I know anybody who has a platform on social is going to understand this idea that you feel beholden to the device. I got to post this. I got to talk about it. And when you have a company and there's employees and we really need you to, post more because we have this launch coming up. And that, it was such a severing for me of that mattering. And honestly, like you know how many people, and I mean like friends who are celebrities who hate social media with a passion and have to show up every day because 50 million fans or 30 million fans or 1 million fans or 500,000 or 3,000. But their business is built on that and people are counting on them. So they keep showing up even though it's toxic. And one of the things that came out of that for me, besides the learning, was this platform isn't my life. This is not real life. My real life is what happens when I go home tonight and make dinner for the kids. That's my real life. And my real life is really good. But you don't really see it on social anymore because I don't ever want to get it twisted again that like, if it looks good on social, then it is good in real life. And that's not the reality.
But now she's right back to where she started because she's talking about her Lulu and all this. And she's, hey guys, look at me renovating. She went right back to where she said she never would again. So as they all do.
When it comes to your work environment and your children now, how has that changed in the last year? I'm sure there's changes in both.
Totally. I really am focused on the podcast and I'm focused on writing. That's what I do now. I'm not really in the space where I want to do a conference anytime soon. I feel like I've sort of carried that weight for a very long time and it's an incredible experience and it is an honor, but it's just so much. But I'm just focusing on creating things. And what it looks like right now is I work from home like most of us do. And I write and I record podcasts mostly by myself unless I'm doing something like this. And it's pretty dreamy because respectfully, I still make a significant amount of money, but I do it from home and I do it in a few hours every week as opposed to 60 hours a week on the road. So life is really good, but it is, I have 4 kids, so it's also chaos.
I'm so glad things worked out for her. It always turns out perfect for Rach.
I think my main goal in life, and I've realized this as I've gotten older, is to protect my peace.
Yes.
And it sounds like that's what you're doing. It's like money or success or social media or followers. Like what I've learned through this whole COVID experience is like, if I don't have my peace and my sanctuary,
These are 2 women who are obsessed with fame and obsessed with money and obsessed with validation from the public, lying to each other. Okay, give me a break. All I want is to protect my peace. Yeah, okay, girl. We all believe you, totally.
I can't show up.
Yes,
like 100%. I can't do it 100%.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm hearing from you too.
No, I keep sort of refining. It's kind of like sifting out and what doesn't matter. And that was the beautiful part. I know it sounds silly, but that was the beautiful part about lockdown and COVID was suddenly all these things that had mattered so much were taken away from us. And you really have to ask, what is the most important? And like I'm surrounded, I have a lot of friends who are really successful entrepreneurs and I love them so much. And we had very aligned values for a really long time of like, how much can we make? And what was the revenue this year? And what did we grow? And what brands are we working with? And I know I sound like such a hippie, but I'm not in that. I really believe if I focus in on what I'm creating, then the success will follow because I'm focused on creating good shit that people will like, as opposed to, I'm going to make, you know who my dream is? You know who I want to be? Jon Favreau. Do you know who Jon Favreau is?
Of course.
Fucking killing it.
Like the director, right?
Actor, producer.
They're so confused. Like, yeah, we know who that is, obviously. And what about him that you think you're like or want to be like? How does it compare to you?
Producer, writing, like behind the scenes. Like Jon Favreau started as an actor. He was in a movie called Swingers in like the early 2000s. Classic, so good. And he wrote that and then starred in it. And so he had a little bit of fame. And so he was an actor in different things and then ended up either writing or directing Iron Man.
That, and also he's just did The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah, he's done it since then. He just keeps, he's not going, he doesn't have social, or if he does, he's not doing anything. He doesn't have fame. He does, like, if you saw him, you'd be like, holy shit, that's Jon Favreau. But he's just quietly making really cool shit, directing Lion King, killing it. And that's the dream. Like I used to, when I was younger, I thought I wanted fame. I thought I wanted to be recognized in the airport. And I just want to be able to make some stuff and do it with people who are cool and go home and make dinner for my kids.
Rachel Hollis.
So what happened? Yeah, I was just reminiscing for a moment about how things have come back. I think it comes down to money. She learned the money runs out if you don't show results. The only way you can make money without really trying as hard is if you can trick people. Trick them into thinking that they're going to be learning something and coming to a one-day event and whatever, and like bullshitting themselves for, 8 hours. If you have to send in numbers to Sirius XM every month and they're not hitting, and you're beholden to their policies and what they have as standards, you're going to get screwed. I feel like I could be wrong. I have no idea. I don't think she's with Sirius anymore. I don't think. Is she? She's not doing interviews anymore, which I think was set up by them. Let's see. The deal was from 2022. So I would imagine maybe it was like a 3-year contract, because I don't think she's got any sort of cadence anymore. I guess I could write to the media contact and ask. Anyways, all right. That's Rachel Hollis, everyone. Once again, you can attend the Rise conference March 20th if you'd like to change your life for the worse. Some guy 00001. Welcome, some guy. Some guy says Swingers was 1996, not the early 2000s. Epic fail. She's the biggest cinephile you've ever met in your goddamn life.
But also,
she's never seen a movie.
My boyfriend.
I don't like movies that my boyfriend likes.
You're exchanging biofluids.
Oh yeah, this is what she said about Kez. Here's the soundbite.
I am dating the most evolved human being.
But being around him has not changed my evolution at all. All right. Time now. Epstein o'clock, everybody. Okay. Have you ever heard of Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein's a really normal guy, according to Lizzo, and we shouldn't judge him. Let's start there. Lizzo has nothing to do with this at all. We're going to talk about wellness gurus, but let's just kick it off with you never know what people are going to say these days anymore. She had a hot take about this whole thing, about people being in the files, and a lot of people are suspecting that she is in them. Because why would she have such a weird take on this? Okay, here it is. So Lizzo shares her thoughts on celebrities being mentioned in the Epstein files. I really think she was concerned that her name was going to pop up or something. But here it goes.
I go into glam. This Epstein file shit, it's really frustrating to me because there are 3 million files, right?
Are you wondering what's concerning to her and frustrating to her about the Epstein files? You might think, DOJ hasn't released them all. Oh, they redacted so many names. It's hard to really make heads or tails of some of this stuff. Oh man, all these rich people get away with so much stuff. Just hold your breath. You might be disappointed.
Right? 3 million documents in the files, because over the course of however long this man has been doing these crimes, every email, every text message, everything, just in general about this man's life has been put into these files to scan for illegal activities, right?
Right.
Every text message you sent to somebody. If you stole an apple from Walmart and you were on trial for stealing an apple from Walmart, is every person in your phone an accomplice? Is every person in your phone, is every email you sent to a person or speaking about a person, does that make that person complicit? Does that make that person a bad guy? No, it doesn't. And that's the same thing with the Diddy stuff. I told y'all, the media is so smart. They're going to make you so distracted with celebrity names that you're not going to focus on the problem. You think every party that Diddy ever threw was a freak off and people were fucking and slipping and sliding on baby oil?
No, I don't think anyone thinks that. I don't think anyone thinks that every person Jeffrey Epstein ever saw with his eyes is guilty. But I think people have discernment and can read with their own eyes once again and decide. So the transparency is the important part. What are you talking about?
Oil? No. That man had birthday parties. That man had Easter gatherings. That man had Super Bowl parties. That man had Christmas parties.
And so we should be like, you know what? Did he had an Easter party one time and he let his children decorate eggs. So is he a bad guy? Or like maybe we should all just like be nicer to each other. I think we should all just be kind maybe. I don't know. Love you, rooting for you.
Halloween parties, regular parties. And so now they're saying Mom Donnie's mom, who's a filmmaker, they're like, oh, she's on the Epstein list because she was on a guest list for Ghislaine Maxwell's like showing of a political film once.
Yeah. She is being canceled, the mother, right now. She's the one who is in the crosshairs for sure.
Hey, you're distracted. You just want Mom Donnie to be a bad guy or his mom. A girl can go to a movie premiere. You think Ghislaine Maxwell woke up every single day trafficking children? No.
But kinda, maybe, actually, though.
We're losing the plot. And it's just like the American people in the comments. I knew she was wrong. Jay-Z, I knew he was. What did it say Jay-Z did? He was there in 1996. Come on, people. Like, y'all are falling for it.
Come on, people. Let celebrities have sex with children. Come on, people. Oh, just let us do what we want.
The easiest, oldest trick in the book. And honestly, I'm losing faith in the average intelligence of the American person. Because, come on. Just because somebody's name is mentioned in a 3 million document file of a person's life who's been lived over crimes who've spanned decades, doesn't mean that every single person isn't an accomplice.
And he's a financier, as everyone knows. He was just financing things. People don't get that anymore.
He could be mentioned. He referenced Jay-Z once. He was like, oh, we could learn from Jay-Z's business model. Why are y'all... Where's the crime?
She's well versed in what Jay-Z did or didn't do. Interesting hot take here.
Focus. Anyways, y'all. One more thing before I go into glam.
Oh, okay, that was it. She had or I guess someone cap cutted that for her. Wow. Okay, just wanted to start with that because we're going to give context where context is due, okay? And we're only going to look at 3 people as of now that I've looked up already in the guru wellness space. Okay, they are Deepak Chopra, okay? Peter Attia, okay? Bryan Johnson, okay? These are 3 people who I am not that shocked that they were all mentioned in the Epstein files. Let's start with the least guilty, in my opinion, and that is Bryan Johnson. Shocker, I know. He's in them, but it does appear that he was in them for likely business reasons. Now, I do think it's interesting because it seems like the reason that Epstein was even interested to talk to Bryan Johnson was because he was trying to make a neural implant to make you wiser or to help your cognitive function. It's basically what Elon's now trying to do, the Neuralink. And before, I guess, Bryan really launched his company Kernel, he was intending it to be an implant. And so that's what Epstein was interested in. And it seems like Epstein wants, also hanging out with Peter Attia all the time, wants some sort of longevity, medicines and such. Okay, so where is Okay, I'm looking at the Peter Attia stuff. There's all his stuff. Here's that. Okay, here is the Deepak Chopra stuff. Sorry, I'm getting to it. And Deepak Chopra is also, in my opinion, based on these files, not a great guy. to say it nicely. He is not a good person. Never thought he was. Don't think. I think he's worse, obviously. Okay, well, let's start with Bryan. So Bryan, if you don't know who Bryan Johnson is, he is the guy who claims he's going to overcome death. Okay, he does 1.5 million protocols every day to lengthen his life and to undo his aging, yet he looks older than his age, in my opinion. And he takes 1,000 supplements. He just got a girlfriend and it's a big deal to him. And he's a wackadoo. Okay, he's a wackadoo, but he's a wackadoo who's rich, super rich. He sold a company to PayPal, I believe, and then now he's also the CEO, as far as I understand, of the Kernel, which is this helmet thing that's supposed to do something with your brain. But his real business is Blueprint, which is his protocols in a fake protein health shot powder thing that you can buy. So that's his other grift. And he goes on these podcasts and he talks about, death is not real for me anymore. And he knows he's lying, but it's all good for TV. Anyways, so that's who that is. If you haven't seen him before, he looks crazy. He's an ex-Mormon too. If you didn't know that, not that it's really relevant at this time, but I'll show you his picture just in case. It's still unclear. And he, one time as a publicity stunt, traded blood plasma with his son, who's like 18. Talmud, I think is his name. And there he is. Totally normal guy, you guys. He's totally normal. Nothing to see here, okay? All right, so here's on Twitter. Now, my criticism before we start. Why didn't you just say this earlier? Because again, the files that I've seen, we're going to go over, don't seem incriminating really at all. It seems like there was a meeting and that was basically it. I mean, Deepak Chopra's in these files 3,000 times. Bryan Johnson's in these like 20, and it's about one meeting. And it seems like they had the meeting and then that was it, as far as I understand. But he was a convicted sex offender at the time. So he and his team did not do their due diligence, really, or didn't care about that. That's not great moral character, but compared to the others, he wasn't texting him, stuff about pussy. So it seems, thankfully. Okay, but this is Bryan's take on Twitter. But first, thank you to S. Bobby Boy. Thank you so much. This is what I have to say to you.
Jeez, this is so good.
Big facts.
Thank you.
We're best friends.
The best, goodest, good girl you ever met in your life.
That's me. Thank you, Bobby Boy. Okay, here's Bryan's confession. After the files came out and his name came up, then they're like, what? And now he's coming clean. 8 years ago, I met Epstein via Zoom. A mutual contact put us in touch as I was building my brain interface company, Kernel, and he had supposedly done some neuroscience stuff at MIT. After a 10-minute video call, now here's where I think he's lying. And it would have been more believable if he said this information before. Because if all this Epstein stuff was coming out for the last year, really, and all the conversation about it, why didn't you just say, I met him and I thought he was a creep? But he kept that secret, so it makes me feel like he's there's more to it maybe, or that he's lying here and he's trying to just distance himself from it. He says, after a 10-minute video call, I immediately called the person who put us in contact and told him that Epstein seemed like a very dark person. I felt sick to my stomach. I also told him that I never wanted to speak to him again. I remember this so clearly because I knew nothing about him, but weirdly, intuitively, something was deeply wrong because in his proximity because being in his proximity felt dangerous. Despite having nothing to go off of, I never interacted with him again and came to find out years later that he had a fucked up past. Oh my God, the prophet, Bryan Johnson. He knew, and he's a great intuitor of character for sure. So actually all the supplements is good for you, and he's not a bad person. Okay, then he goes on to say, in case you're curious, here's everything I remember, unfiltered. I think maybe he was wearing a blue shirt. We're about to get into smut content now. He was wearing a blue shirt and his bulging biceps were coming out the sides. Okay, sorry. I don't remember anyone else being with him. He was doing work at MIT, neuroscience adjacent stuff, and he knew getting brain data access was a core limitation, which is the exact problem I was working on at Kernel. Okay, what does brain data access mean? I think this is the sinister stuff we need. This is what Lizzo was talking about. This is the real story here. There was an obvious incentive for him to pursue a connection with me, and at the end of the call, he wanted to stay in touch. Instead, the moment the call ended, it was an immediate no, a hard, instinctive fuck no. I was genuinely relieved when the call ended. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I just don't. I think he probably was like, oh yeah, like I'll take money from him, or this guy can solve my problems. And then maybe they just never got to it. I don't think it was this man. No, I just can't imagine. Typically, I wouldn't say something like this publicly because I usually only stick to measurable science. You're posting about your girlfriend constantly, dude. Yeah, measurable science. Okay. But he is legitimately the most intuitively evil person I had or have ever met. It was the strongest negative feeling I've ever had about another person. It was visceral. He's trying so hard to be like, look, guys, I'm not involved. I really hated him. I really hate this guy. I talked to him, but I don't like him. We were on the phone for maybe 10 minutes, and he spoke for 8, maybe 9 of them. He just talked at me, rammed his thoughts, his plans, his accomplishments, who he knew, what he wanted. Everything felt off. I remember the call dragging on. Most of what he talked about was flexing connections, scientists, money, donated, MIT, Harvard. That's the thing. It wasn't part of my algo, which is an annoying sentence to even utter. It wasn't part of my algo to check if someone being introed to me was a registered sex offender. It wasn't part of his algorithm to check about sexual innuendos or sexual assaults of the past. Well, that's not his fault either. He also wasn't presented as some obvious outcast. He was wrapped in credibility, positioned by others as relevant and important. Epstein, so wouldn't you look this guy up? That's the thing. Bryan, you had the worst, most evil experience with him, and you didn't think to look him up afterwards and see all the articles from the Miami Herald that when he went to court and was in prison and whatever back in the, before he did all the other stuff, you wouldn't have searched that? That was out there. Okay. He was in, okay. It turns out even after he was a convicted sex offender, MIT and Harvard were still engaging with him. Okay, this is deflection, right? Oh, well, if MIT and Harvard are dealing with them, you can't blame me for dealing with them. He was always surrounded by people who made him seem legitimate. That interaction was the first and last time I interacted with him. I feel you all. It's terrifying. Okay, so then this guy's using a document. Now, I do think it's being misinterpreted in this context. Okay, so this is to Bryan Johnson with a bunch of other people CC'd. Okay, and then it's just going back and forth about scheduling. So it says, hi, Bryan. Jeffrey is not in New York. Might we be able to coordinate a call instead? Please advise if the call is just you or all who are on this mail. Thanks. And it says, thank you, Masha. Hi, I'm in town until Wednesday afternoon and have a really tight schedule, but would like to meet up with Jeffrey if possible. What does his schedule look like today? And then, great meeting you, Bryan. Putting here blank, Jeffrey's assistant. She'll help to coordinate. Thank you, Alex. Promoting to BCC, having included blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're already briefed. I'll keep this short. Bryan is building Kernel, and today I spoke with Masha about the potential value of him and Jeffrey chatting. Masha has spoken with Jeffrey and will be working with his team to hopefully coordinate time to connect before Bryan leaves on Wednesday. So it did seem to me, And based on the other documents, or he's in them, that it was all about this meeting and about coordinating this meeting. And then he responds, "This was pre-call. I was offering in person because I was traveling through New York. It ended up being a call first and last time I interacted with him. I am with you, friends. Terrifying in hindsight." Okay, cut the dramatics, dude. So yeah, this is basically the same thing. It just says, okay, I'll ask Leslie to schedule a call. And then Jeffrey says, "I'm in Florida until Friday." And that's it, basically. The only thing that I didn't understand was, "Always interested. I haven't received my 10-point blanket yet." Like, what do you mean? What is that? What's a 10-point blanket? Is that like a paper, like a white paper or something? I don't understand. Okay, this is, "What type of friend sets you up for a meeting with Epstein in 2017 after he's already a convicted pedo?" Well, apparently a lot of people did it. Unfortunately. Okay, this is yeah. "Always interested. I haven't received my 10-point blanket." I don't know what that means. Anyways, that is basically all of it. And people are saying, but, you wanted to meet with him. But again, and let's look at the actual, I was looking up if Ocean Gate, I was like thinking of all the people I was creeped out by. And I'm like, let me just look him up. How do you spell his name? Bryan? No, it is Y. Bryan Johnson. Oh no, here it is. Okay. So he was mentioned 37 times total, Bryan Johnson was. So let's start here. And some of these are repeats. I find all this stuff is very disorganized. I know you're shocked. Okay, so again, this is back in 2017 in October. Okay, this is already what we wrote. "Hello to you both. Great meeting you, Bryan. Putting here. We're going to schedule this meeting. Jeffrey's not in New York. We do a call. Okay. Hi, Bryan. I have not heard back from anyone regarding setting up a video call as of yet. Just wanted to stay on top of this. Thank you." And then he said, "Alana, please schedule." That's Bryan. That's Bryan's assistant at the time. Okay, so that's it. "I'm not a robot." That's it. Same message thread. Again, let's see. What about this one? Yeah, these are it's all the same message, essentially. Okay, this one is weird. Okay, a lot of words. I don't know why that would be redacted. It says, "Blank, I'll take it from here. Thank you so much." What the hell? "Working with his team to hopefully coordinate time to connect." Okay. "Bryan is building Colonel, and today I spoke with blank." This is so frustrating. "Thank you." Okay. "Great meeting you, Bryan." Putting here, this is the same message. Same message. "Hello, Alana. Might we be able to organize a video call? Is that a Skype call for this Friday, October 6th? I'm not sure what time zone you're in, Bryan. We'll be in the East Coast time. If not Friday, October 6th, Monday 9th work. Please let me know. Apologies for the delay. I was out of office for the past week. 10/6 or 10/9 are both options. What are Masha's availabilities for the 6th? Bryan will be at a conference that date, but we might be able to carve some time out. If not, let's look at the 9th. Tomorrow, Jeffrey is available morning up to 1 p.m., then between 3 and 4, or after 6. These people, first of all, cannot type for shit. They don't make any sense, and they are available at weird times. Alana, Jeffrey is available tomorrow for a video conference. He will be flying abroad on Monday, October 9th. So best if we could stick with tomorrow, October 6th, or another day. We are East Coast time. Next week we'll be in Paris, 6 hours ahead. Hi, 12 p.m. Pacific works. Can we confirm? Yes, sounds great. Will Masha be on the call? I really want to know. If this is a Skype call, Jeffrey can be reached at JEE Vacation. Please advise Bryan's ID. Masha, are you joining? Bryan doesn't have Skype. Would it be possible to use Zoom? If so, I'll send you an invite with details. Not sure regarding Zoom. Can you send me the details on what Jeffrey would need to do? I'll send an invite now. Instructions will be included. Let me know if it's possible. If not, we can just do a phone call. Okay, sounds like a plan. I will pass along to Jeffrey. He can decide. Great. That's about it. So Bryan Johnson, in my eyes, is kind of off the hook. Now, if he was to be found out that there was randomly more stuff that came out, I wouldn't be shocked. But it doesn't seem like he is involved any deeper, at least according to these documents. Now, when I was on his page on Twitter, which I don't go to Twitter ever, or X or whatever it's called now, I just need these tweets are you need to be in prison for, actually. This is from yesterday at 11:18 p.m. I'm cuddling with Kate right now. It's glorious. Okay. And then here's him. How it feels fighting against all the addictions in this world. Okay, Bryan. Good night, fellow humans. May you feel peace. May your concerns vanish. May your nervous system relax. May your sleep clear cellular debris. May your phone be put in the trash, as he writes from an iPhone. So he's a freak. But I think he's a freak that is not an illegal one, at least this time. So congratulations, Bryan. You survived this one. For now. Bobby Boy, thank you so much. Bobby Boy says, I think Lizzo has a point, especially since the time frame they gave for Jay-Z was before his fame and wealth. Seems media is using it as a distraction from Trump. Okay, I don't know what is going on with Jay-Z. Is it about Epstein? Let's look. What is Jay-Z's real name? Jay-Z. The name J and Z are in the files 90 times. But it looks like it's just, this one was like an article. There's a lot of these where it's just articles. I looked up Oprah. She's in it a bunch, but it's extremely clever. Redacted. But it doesn't seem like she was actually communicating with him. It was just people talking about Oprah. Several of the most successful people in the world never ever graduated from high school. Richard Branson, Frank Lloyd Wright, Walt Disney, Milton Hershey, Rockefeller, Simon Cowell, George Foreman, Jay-Z, Robert De Niro, all had incredible success without obtaining a high school diploma. Cool. So yeah, I don't know about the Jay-Z stuff. And let's stay on track here. But thank you, Spobby. I need more information, and I will look it up later.
This is gold, straight up.
For real.
Buzzing with joy.
Most pilgrims are not bougie bitches like me.
Sounds too good to be true, right?
Right. Okay, let's move on to Attia. Attia is guilty as hell, in my opinion. He probably is the worst out of the group, out of the three, out of Bryan Johnson, Deepak Chopra, and Peter Attia. Peter has the most to lose, I think, and is losing the most right now. Because he is kind of the most relevant, sort of, at this time, I guess, compared to the three. So here he is. He wrote a really famous book called something. Longevity bullshit. Outlive. The Science and Art of Longevity. And I'm sure it was filled with amazing biohacks that we would all be able to live longer if we just implemented. Okay. There's a few things that he looks like a total asshole and is gross. Do I think he's committed crimes? Maybe. I don't know if it's not clear from the files if he committed crimes. It's definitely clear that he has bad moral judgment. And he did not care that Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender, did not seem to be fazed by it. And possibly he did visit the ranch at some point. Okay, that's not the worst part. The worst part deals with the book. So, and this is part of the files, but it's not really interesting to read the files, but this is the story. So allegedly, Peter Attia in his book, the one we just looked at, talks about a time when his son, his infant son, had some sort of cardiac issue where the son was like in the ICU with his wife and they weren't sure if the son was going to make it. In his book, he says, let me just find the article. I talked to my wife and basically said from New York, he was in New York, she was in San Diego. He said, okay, thanks for letting me know. Call me when you get to the hospital and I'll talk to the other doctors. And that was it. Gave her like no comfort. And essentially in his book, he was saying, I put work first too much in my life and that's a problem. However, according to the dates when his son was born and had this medical issue and when he was discussing stuff with Jeffrey Epstein, meeting up with him in New York, his son was in the hospital, is what it seems like. His son was in the hospital in San Diego, and Peter Attia decided to stay in New York and hang out with Jeffrey Epstein instead of flying back immediately and taking care of his ill son and his wife. So that is decrepit behavior. I'm sorry. There's nothing that is worse than that, I don't think. I feel like that might be the greatest offense of all this stuff. And okay, so then there's a couple different parts to this. So he just got a job, Peter Attia just got a job being a coordinator or a consultant or a contributor is what I'm looking for CBS News. Lots of controversy there because Barry Weiss, who is a free speech person, but very much leans to the right, leans to you don't need facts, leans to Maha Trumpy-isms way more so than the other side. And she is like the head of CBS News now. And she hired Peter Attia, as well as I think Huberman, to be medical contributors. Peter Attia never got board certified in anything. He never finished his residency. He was 2 years into a 4-year residency at Hopkins University. Did not finish. Decided to go into like his own thing. Worked for McKinsey, the consultancy company, and decided to take on private clients and talk about longevity. But in reality, he has less education, less experience as basically any current doctor working. He never finished. Yet he's one of those grifters where it's like, well, I left the industry. Like Paul Saladino, I left because I was just, I saw the real things that you should be doing, which is exercising, taking testosterone, and blinking your eyes and taking my supplements that I'm going to buy you or make you buy. Anyway, so he apparently he got let go from CBS, but now it seems like they're backtracking, that Barry Weiss is pushing back and wants to keep Peter Attia, even though all these things have come out about him. That they still want him over at CBS, which is interesting. Okay, so let's go through some of his most incriminating emails. So this is the one that's got a lot of attention. Okay, this is from February 19th, 2016 at 11 o'clock at night. Okay, subject confirmed. So this is Peter Attia to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, 2016. Pussy is indeed low carb. Still awaiting results on gluten content, though. Okay, that's an interesting thing for a doctor to be sending an alleged patient in the middle of the night at 11 o'clock at night. Thanks for that, Peter. We'll get to his response in a second. What is this one? This is subject. Got a fresh shipment. Okay, this is from Peter Attia. Okay, let's go to the bottom. All right. Baby girl, come here. Where does this start? Okay, this is also a pretty famous one now. Infamous message. All right, I'm trying to find it. So, me too, from Jeffrey to Peter. And then I guess he sent a photo or something. I can't quite make heads or tails of all this. But essentially, Peter wrote to Jeffrey and said, please tell you found that picture online, ... bastard. So I guess the implication is Jeffrey sent him some sort of risque photo of somebody. And he says, please tell me you found that picture online, bastard. And he goes, afraid not. Okay. And this is, again, in response to an email that says, got a fresh shipment. So does that mean girls? Does that mean underage girls? Does that mean young women? Does that mean models? We don't know. And then this is the thing that was like, okay, you're a creep. Peter then responds, you, the biggest problem with becoming friends with you, the life you lead is so outrageous, and yet I can't tell a soul. Yeah. Love that. Love that. So he knew that this was not something you should be sharing with others because it would be looked down upon. And he's cool with it. And he's like, we're friends. I think what you do is awesome, but other people would not like it. So I know that I have to keep this a secret, which is really good of you to do that for sure. And then he says, please tell me that's not where you actual are. That was Peter to Jeffrey. And then Jeffrey says, you can see the gym in the middle, just me and 4. Don't know what that means. And then he responds again. Peter says, I think you might have a more interesting life than the Dos Equis guy. Is this off the coast of France? South? Then Jeffrey responds, no, it's my island in the Caribbean near St. Thomas. If you go to Google Earth and type in St. James, Little St. James. Then he says, beautiful. Okay, wonderful correspondence. Loved reading that. Okay, this is from January 2016. Okay, this is him trying to set up a meeting, I guess. Hi, Leslie. No luck. Very frustrating. Mary and I will depart back to San Diego tomorrow, still with no apartment. Thank you so much for your generosity. What can I do before I leave to ease the cleanup? Strip sheets? Take the trash out? So Peter was living, I guess, with his wife in one of Jeffrey Epstein's apartments. So they were very close, it seems. Like he's letting them stay at his, other properties. So I think Leslie is Jeffrey Epstein's assistant at some point. No worries there. We will send our maid in to take care of all. Hope you get the apartment soon. What a headache. Please let me know around what time you plan to vacate. Thanks, Leslie. And then he goes, I'll be out at 1 p.m. tomorrow. And then she says, okay, thanks so much and safe trip home. And then this guy, he's got to be more embarrassed than any person on earth could possibly be embarrassed, as he deserves to be. This is what he says back to Jeffrey Epstein's assistant. Okay. No, thank you so much. See you next time. Hopefully, J.E., Jeffrey Epstein, in town when I'm back in 2 weeks. I go into J.E., Jeffrey Epstein, withdrawal when I don't see him. Are you okay? Are you all right? Like, what man, what person speaks about a convicted sex offender in this way? No, thank you so much. I go into withdrawal. He's a man with a child and a wife, multiple children, and yet you're withdrawing from this psychopath?
Narcissistic, bully, cult leader. We're not a cult.
Okay.
Wait, what?
And then she sends back, nice. Hopefully he will be here. Circle back before your trip, and you're very welcome for our apartment. Glad it helped you out. Even she's creeped out. Like, you go into withdrawal without this man? What the fuck? What is wrong with you? Okay, more correspondence with his withdrawal friend. Okay, so Peter says November 27th through December 2nd and December 11th through 16th. If we're lucky, maybe we can hang with Jeffrey and Boris. Jeffrey Epstein and Boris, are you in town then? No, Palm Beach. He's a great communicator. I miss you. When are you coming back? Maybe I need to visit you there. Thirsty as hell. Dude, you're a multimillionaire. Get a fucking life. Jesus. Good idea. He's simping so hard. Let's make a plan in the new year. Okay, that's 2016. Okay. Let's see. This question mark. Oh, Peter Attia sent something. We can't see it. And then Jeffrey says a question mark. And then Peter says, do you ever spend time on Grand Cayman or other Cayman Islands? Jeffrey, nope. And then Peter says, so I guess this is Peter trying to like nudge, hey, invite me to your sex island. Nothing like Little St. John, I bet. And then Jeffrey responds, 0. There are other people there. And then Peter says, I need to visit sometime. Yeah, no response. Jeffrey's like, this guy sucks. I can't even invite him. Okay, and this is the pussy one. We already saw that. Here's some updates as well. This is from a reporter from Entrepreneur magazine. Dr. Peter Attia has stepped down from his role as chief science officer at David Protein Bars. I've seen those everywhere. Those have blown up recently. Like David is the new Quest, and so they're going to be hit hard probably from this whole thing because he was like pushing that pretty good. I'm sure you guys have seen it, the David Protein Bars. I haven't tried it. I like my Special K protein bars. Thank you very much. These gold. He probably liked them because they're gold. He's like, I like gold. Those. So he stepped down. Okay. What does this one say? Okay, so this one shows. So if you were like, well, maybe he just didn't know. Maybe he didn't know. It wasn't in his algo. It wasn't in his algo to search if people he was friends with are pedophiles or not. No, he knew. And this is sort of the proof of that, allegedly. Peter Attia wrote something. We can't see it for some reason. Jeffrey responds, New York, you? Peter says, California, going to Abu Dhabi today. How long are you in New York? Jeffrey seems like he's like, you're getting too close. You're becoming too clingy. He goes in and out. How are things progressing? And then, well, who's this? And then Peter responds, home is very good. Work stressful. Making some changes. What is fallout from recent story? Because this is when December 2018 is when he was getting back in the press about his, sexual misconduct and crimes. So he was aware of what was going on. He's asking, oh, any fallout from that? Any repercussions from that? I hope not, because you're my best friend that I love and I just worship for some reason that's totally unknown to everyone. And I can't talk about it to a soul. Yeah, just to remind everyone, in 2018, Jeffrey was a convicted sex offender who had largely evaded further legal consequences following his 2008 Florida plea deal, continuing to associate with wealthy and influential individuals. However, 2018 marked a major turning point in his legal troubles due to investigative journalism that led to a new federal investigation. Wow. This is why we need investigative journalism. And yet it's dying and there's no money in it at all, but this is what makes the difference. Like someone put the time in and the effort in to go, this guy should not be walking the streets hanging out with Peter Attia, and they actually got something done about it in the Miami Herald. Reporter Julie K. Brown, shout out. Hey, Julie K. Brown, you're a real one. No, wrong one. Ay. Okay, so here's Peter Attia and his wife. She has not said anything, as far as I understand. She is a PhD biomedical science person, host of the Found My Fitness podcast, okay? And she's posted a day ago. So after this has come out, she's posted, but it seemed just like a old post, like a batched post about hydrogen water. And people are commenting, are you just not going to talk about it? Are you going to say anything? Are you going to be with your husband anymore? She doesn't say anything yet. I don't know about her enough to know what her move will be. And he posted 4 days ago. He's not addressing it on Instagram, at least. He did address it on Twitter. So let's see his response because I also want to talk about one thing that he brought up. And here's, if you just want to hear what he sounds like, here's him and his wife.
Data that you've been looking at that have given you an increasing level of confidence.
Okay, well, first, let's talk about dose. The 5 grams a day didn't.
You may be single-handedly more responsible for the buzz on this topic than anybody else I can think of, and that is creatine. One of the advantages of studying the effects of creatine on physical performance.
Is that, what's his face? Lance Armstrong on his shirt? His shirt says, many men, many men wish death upon me. And then it looks like Lance Armstrong at the cycle competition. Okay, good shirt, dude. I don't get it.
Performance is we have really good objective measurements that you can demonstrate in a short period of time. How do we do?
He's like a Huberman dude. He's a bald, different looking Huberman. He's got some medical training, yet he hawks bullshit and he talks about protocols and self-optimization and biohacking and blue zones and all the bullshit that people who don't actually want to go to a doctor like to hear. That's who he is, as far as I know. And also as a creep and a freak, obviously. Okay, so here's what he's got to say. Okay, the following email is what I sent my team last night. I sent a similar version to my patients also. Oh, good. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to hear that. You've put your trust, your credibility, and your hard work into what we have built together. And I take that responsibility seriously. You deserve a complete and honest account of what did and did not happen. I apologize that I did not get this out sooner, but I want to be thorough. Sure. The purpose of the DOJ releasing these documents is clear: to identify individuals who participated in criminal activity, enabled it, or witnessed it. I am not in any of those categories, and there is no evidence to the contrary. Okay. Got it. So you say, until more information comes out. To be clear, I was not involved in any criminal activity. I just supported it and encouraged it and thought it was really freaking cool. 2, my interactions with Epstein had nothing to do with his sexual abuse or exploitation of anyone. What did it have to do with then? I'm curious. 3, I was never on his okay, this is the important part. Here we go. Number 3, I was never on his plane, never on his island, and never present at any sex parties. Okay, wait, has he changed this? Because I watched a video earlier and it said that he was not on his ranch either. And there was some differing evidence that showed that he did go to the ranch. So I wonder, can you edit posts on Twitter? I'm curious. We can go to that video and watch it to see the old one. Because that was what I was going to show you, that he had a plane ticket and was coordinating with Jeffrey Epstein's assistant for dates and how to arrive at the ranch and how do you get to the property and all that. So it seemed like you did go to the ranch, or at least you had tickets to go. Anyways, that said, I apologize and regret putting myself in a position where emails, some of them embarrassing, tasteless, and indefensible, are now public, and that is on me. I accept that reality and the humiliation that comes with it. I want to start by directly addressing the email thread that I've been asked about the most. In June 2015, I sent Epstein an email with the subject line, "Got a fresh shipment." The email contained a photograph of bottles of metformin, a medication I had just received from the pharmacy for my own use. Okay, interesting that on his page, and we're going to assume that he, got a lawyer, obviously has a lawyer, and is having them write this, right? And coordinate all this. I mean, he's got lots on the line right now at stake. I'm sure he's doing everything in his power to try to get out of this, weasel his way out of this if he can. I don't think he will be able to, but stranger things have happened. He'll probably be president. He'll probably be the president next year. I don't know. But metformin, that he had posted 4 days ago about metformin, I feel like they put this here because they're trying to make it plausible that he would be talking about metformin with Jeffrey Epstein and showing an alleged picture of it. I don't know. Seems like a coinky-dink to me. Seems like a calculated coinky-dink. Okay, the email contained a photograph of bottles of metformin, a medication I had just received from the pharmacy for my own use. The subject line referred to the picture of the bottles of medication. Yeah. Sure. He replied with the words, "Me too," and attached a photograph of an adult woman. Yeah. Sure. I responded with crude, tasteless banter. Reading that exchange now is very embarrassing, and I will not defend it. I'm ashamed of myself for everything about this. At the time, I understood this exchange as juvenile, not a reference to anything dark or harmful. Also, he, I believe, is in his 60s, and Jeffrey Epstein is in his 70s at this time. Let me see how old Peter Attia is. He looks good, I will say, for his age. He's 52. Okay. So a 52-year-old man now, he would have been in his 40s, I guess, back then, was just being juvenile. Okay. Got it. At that point in my career, I had little exposure to prominent people, and that level of access was novel to me. Everything about him seemed excessive and exclusive, including the fact that he lived in the largest home in all of Manhattan, owned a Boeing 727, and hosted parties with the most powerful and prominent leaders in business and politics. I treated that access as something to be quiet about rather than discussed freely with others. One line in that exchange about his life being outrageous and me not being able to tell anyone is being interpreted as awareness of wrongdoing. That is not how I meant it at all. What I was referring to poorly and flippantly was the discretion commanded by those social and professional circles. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Totally. That is so what happened and definitely explains it all away. The idea that you don't talk about who you meet, the dinners you attend, and the power and influence of the people in those settings. Yet y'all talk about it freely on podcasts constantly about who you're having dinner with, but okay. What I wrote in that email reads terribly, and I own that. I met Epstein in 2014 through a prominent female healthcare leader while I was raising funds for scientific research. So he's like, I met him through a woman, so why are you guys mad? At the time, he was widely known in academic and philanthropic circles as a funder of science and moved openly among credible institutions and public figures. Okay, so same thing as Bryan Johnson. He's like, Harvard said he was good, so what am I supposed to do? Between summer 2014 and spring 2019, I met with him on approximately 7 or 8 occasions at his home in New York City regarding research studies. Yeah. So in 5 years, he met with him 7 or 8 times at least. Okay, in New York. Does that mean he met him in other places more times? Possibly. Regarding research studies and to meet others he introduced me to. Okay, here it is. I never visited his island or ranch, and I never flew on any of his planes. Okay. This is a fact I want to look into, but let's finish the paragraph. When I was at his home, it was either meeting with him directly, meeting with small groups of scientists, doctors, or business leaders, and once at a dinner in 2015 with a number of guests, including prominent heads of state. In retrospect, the presence and credibility of such venerable people in different orbits led me to make assumptions about him that clouded my judgment in ways it shouldn't have. I was not his doctor, though several times I answered general medical questions and recommended other providers to him. Shortly after we met, I asked him directly about his 2008 conviction. He characterized it as prostitution-related charges. In 2018, I came to learn that was grossly minimized. More on this below. I was incredibly naive to believe him. I mistook his social acceptance in the eyes of the credible people I saw with for acceptability, and that was a serious error in my judgment. To be clear, I never witnessed illegal behavior and never saw anyone who appeared underage in his presence. Oh my God, my jaw is hurting from this one's reading. In November 2018, I read the Miami Herald investigative article. I was repulsed by what I learned. They're all repulsed. All these men who are just gushing over this man are repulsed all of a sudden. Nauseated. It marked a clear and irreversible line between what I knew before and what I understood afterward. At that point, I told him directly he needed to accept responsibility for what he did. Where's that email? I'd like to read. Hoping to provide the victims from the Herald piece with support, okay, what? I didn't know this. What the hell? I'm curious. Hoping to provide the victims from the Herald piece with support, I contacted a residential trauma facility to understand what funding comprehensive care for many victims would require. Those communications were between me and the facility and were therefore not part of the document release. Okay, so he cared so deeply about the victims that he secretly and with no evidence got all the victims therapy. Okay. I spoke with him and shared that information and insisted that he fund their care, beginning with residential treatment and followed by lifelong therapy. Okay. I think he might have done this as a way to help the PR, maybe as a preemptive effort to make sure that Jeffrey looks like a great guy so he could keep going to this ranch. But okay, sure. He was so nauseated by it. He just had to give him good advice. In hindsight, even attempting to facilitate accountability was a mistake. Again, he could have come out with this and said, look, I talked to this guy and I found out and he was a jerk and a weirdo and I tried to even help the victims. But he kept this quiet until he couldn't anymore. And that's where I feel like you seem guilty. He could have talked about this in 2018 and yet did not. Was a mistake. Okay, shows how naive I was. Once the full scope of his actions was clear, disengagement should have been the only appropriate response. My intent does not change that. And I regret not drawing that boundary immediately. So even after that, you were still talking to him? Gross. Okay, we're almost done. Nothing in this letter is meant to minimize the harm suffered by the young women Epstein abused. Their trauma is permanent. I'm not asking for a pass from you, even though I would love for you to do that for me. I'm not asking anyone to ignore the emails or pretend they aren't ugly. They simply are. The man I am today, roughly 10 years later, okay, make sure to put that. It's a big gap of time, so things have changed in a decade. Roughly 10 years later, would not write them and would not associate with Epstein at all. Whatever growth I've had over the past decade does not erase the emails I wrote then. Okay, that's a good line. I recognize that my actions and words have consequences for the people I care deeply about, including all of you. I regret the cost this has placed on you, and I take responsibility for it. I won't ask anyone to defend me or explain this on my behalf. If you have questions or concerns, I'll address them directly with you, my team. This person says, the longer the explanation, the bigger the lie. Okay. This person says, don't apologize. This person says, you're good. This person raised $600,000 in a GoFundMe for Brett Kavanaugh, allegedly, according to his bio. So, he's a good guy. He says, I know you probably feel like the world is crashing down on you, but let me give you some key advice. This explanation was excellent. Just stick with it. Don't keep apologizing. Don't feel bad about it. Don't address it again. Refer people to this if they have questions and move on. Thanks, John Hawkins. Okay, yeah. So let's look at because I'm sure this is correct. 1,700 times. That sounds about right from what I saw before, but let's double check that. Where is it? Oh, Deepak's is even more incriminating, I think, but he doesn't have as much to lose, if that makes sense, because I think he's always been a creep. People are surprised that Peter Attia's was in this world. Hold on. Epstein. My baby girl. I know it. Yes. I'm almost done, kind of. So can we go lay down now? I'm sick of hearing about Jeffrey Epstein. I don't like Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, 1,700 times. Okay, but I want to talk about the ranch before we move on to the Oompa Loompa guy. I hope that's not offensive. It probably is. I'm sorry. He looks like the guy. He looks like the Oompa Loompa character from Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, the Johnny Depp one. I hope that. I mean, it is what it is. Okay. I said it. I can't take it back. Okay. Peter Attia. What was I going to look up? Peter Attia Ranch. Okay. Here it is. Okay. Dr. Attia emphasized in his statement that he never visited Mr. Epstein's island or ranch, but in a series of emails from 2015, an assistant made plans for Dr. Attia to visit Epstein's ranch in New Mexico, going so far as to book plane tickets before Mr. Epstein said the scheduled dates no longer worked for him. And in an email on December 4th, 2018, Attia asked Epstein what the fallout was from a recent story. A few days earlier, an article from the Miami Herald had reported that Mr. Epstein had received a secret plea deal. So he read the article, right, where he's saying, it disturbed me and nauseated me so much that he had to set up or tried to set up therapy for all the victims, which there's no proof of, and then asked Jeffrey Epstein any fallout. You don't say that in that way unless you're supportive of the person who you're talking to. Give me a break. So it does seem maybe he didn't go to the ranch, but that he wanted very much to go to the ranch. That is what I'm seeing here. Okay, this is in 2015. 2015. This guy had been around. So from 2015 to 2018, he's like talking to him for years. Gross. Okay, this is from somebody, Mary Stevens. I hope you're having a great week, Peter. Let me know what the plans to join Jeffrey in New Mexico, August 17th through 20th. However, he didn't know many details past that. Location, schedule. Are you up to speed on Jeffrey's plans for Albuquerque next month? Any info can provide is much appreciated. These people cannot write a sentence. Hi, Mary. I think I will need to circle back to this around end of week. Stay posted. Hope all is well. I wanted to circle back with you. Okay, this is about New Mexico trip. I have blank CC'd here. We hope to get back to you shortly. Albuquerque is the best airport to fly in and out of. Ranch address. Let's look at the ranch. 49 Zorro Ranch Road. This guy's a freak. He probably named it that. Zorro. He's in San Rafael, New Mexico. 87056. Okay. This is like a compound. Look at this. Okay. Zooming in. Albuquerque's over here. This is like nothing. Literally. I wonder why he wanted to be so far away. Ugh. Look at this. This is where Peter Attia was trying to go. He's probably begging, please let me go to this heaven on earth. Zion. Yeah, this looks like a cult. This looks like Waco 2.0. Zorro Ranch Road. Oh, man, these people, they really almost got away with it. And they really almost are still. Ay. Okay, that's the ranch. Hi, Mary. Below are the details for Jeffrey's ranch. Jeffrey says he's still waiting to hear from Eva, however, to see her dates. Okay, here's the flight booked for the 20th of August. Economy. Haha. Loser. Okay. It's an hour and 50-minute flight. Okay, confirmed. Below are Peter's flight details for this trip to Jeffrey's ranch next week. He'll be arriving Tuesday and departing Thursday. He should arrive to Zorro, I guess that's what they call it, Zorro Ranch, around 3:30 to 4. What additional details do you need from me? Is there additional information I and or Peter will need regarding getting to the ranch and what to do upon arrival? So if he's just friends with him, or he's not friends with him, he's just an associate to get science deals, what is this about? What would you go for 2 days to a ranch in the middle of nowhere for? Give me that answer. Hi, Mary. Jeffrey is saying we will need to reconfirm all this with you Saturday. Looks like he is still not positive on Peter's dates for traveling. This being said, it still may be all fine, so don't worry. We will take care of everything when the time arises. I promise. I have Peter's cell as blah, 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 correct? Maybe you could pass along your cell just in case, but I believe that is all we need. I gave you blank. I'll be in touch tomorrow with you. Thanks, Leslie. Also, Peter's new number is this. My cell is this. Okay, and it says, hi, Mary. I assume Peter has spoken with you, but just to make sure you are in the loop, Jeffrey has determined next week, unfortunately, won't work for Peter to come visit. He had asked if the following week might be good for him, but Peter says he's all booked up the rest of August. So sorry about the troubles. Have a good Sunday. Yes, I saw this come through. Thanks for the follow-up. So, for him to put confidently in his apology, I didn't go to the ranch. I didn't go to the island. I never was on a plane. Not by my own choice. I would have done that, of course, if I was invited again. Is not a great look. I would have just not said that if I was him. Like, I never went there. Okay, but you wanted to, though. It's not much better. It's not seeing like, oh yeah, I could tell he was a bad guy, so I never went. I was just doing business. It's like, no. It seemed like Jeffrey Epstein didn't like you, which is not a good quality to have. If Jeffrey Epstein thinks you're weird, take a look at yourself, dude. Okay. So that's Peter Attia. You did not get off scot-free. Sorry. You're actually really screwed right now. And I hope your wife leaves you. Okay. Finally, Deepak Chopra, Oprah's best friend, probably. He is the creepiest of the three. Here's him. He loves a bedazzled glasses. He loves glasses with a little bit of rhinestones on it. That's his thing. Oh, they're just best friends. They're just best friends. Two guys who just love making money and bullshitting people. It's so fun. La la la. Okay, he was in the files. You want to guess how many times? If you guessed 3,000, 3,200 times, you would be correct. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. He's a dirty, dirty man. And he's like in his 70s, I think, now, too. So he's got no... I don't know. I said Attia was 40, so okay, he could be juvenile, but what's your excuse, Deepak? All right, so let's start at the top. Let's go from the top. Here's Deepak. He apparently has posted. This is an update from me. I haven't seen this. He has not made any response. He turned off all his comments on Instagram. Okay. But he's posting as normal. Send this to someone. He's like Jay Shettying. Send this to someone that really needs to get out of jail right now. Send this to someone ready to unlearn. Okay, that was from a day ago. Also, this is offensive, I think. AI? Why is Deepak Chopra in the same caricature as Rosa Parks? Why is Rosa Parks a part of the stream twice today? This is offensive not only because they're in AI like caricature art together, but apparently he's interviewing her. Rosa Parks wasn't just tired, she was clear. Okay, but he's like asking her questions. Just read it for a second or listen to it.
What was going on in your mind, Rosa, when this man asked you to stand up?
Well, when he asked me to stand up, I didn't feel like I should stand up.
Okay, I guess this is before she died. I thought he was like channeling her from the dead, from heaven. Okay, I'm talking to Rosa right now. She says that you should buy my book. She says that you should attend my conference. Okay, never mind. It's not as offensive. I think the graphic is offensive personally, but whatever. Here's him with Oprah, who, you know, loves Deepak, always supported her. She has the best judge of character, Oprah, for sure. Okay, but he is not, I can't watch his stories. Can I see it? I don't know what he's saying in his stories, but he's not letting you comment. But that's all he's done. He's changed nothing otherwise, as far as I understand. Deepak, let's see. Oh, I think it's an error because on here there's no stories. Weird. Okay. And if you don't know who he is like a spiritual guru. He does yoga stuff. He does manifesting stuff. He's like, you are God. God is a construct and we are all God. We are all one. Meditate. La 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 la. He's almost 80 years old also. So, you know. We're off to a good start. Okay, so I just picked out some of his. He loves emojis, by the way. And he also loves Jeffrey Epstein. We'll go through a couple and then we'll maybe read an article. Let's see. Some of these articles are so great because they have all the links to the files, which is so much easier. Oh, he does speak out. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, ah. Everyone just does their stuff on Twitter. Everyone's like, that's where I make my statements about my child sex trafficking friends. Only on Twitter do I go. Baby. You want to come up here? Come say hello. You're so fussy. You're such a fussy queen. Say hello. Say hi. She's like, I want them treats that I knocked over. Oh yeah, Woody Allen also is all over these, but you know, he ain't no self-help guru, so. All right, let's see. Tara's looking at the screen as if she sees stuff moving. Can I read anything anymore? I want to read. Yeah, I know. They won't let me read anything. Okay, Yahoo it is. All right. Deepak has spent decades teaching millions of people how to transcend the material world. His 95 books he wrote? Oh my God. Excessive. Promise through spiritual enlightenment, through meditation, higher consciousness, and connection to the divine. He's built a wellness empire worth hundreds of millions by positioning himself as a bridge between ancient Eastern wisdom and modern seekers looking for meaning beyond the physical. Okay, so this is what he said. Let's say, every guru in the wellness industry is a grifter. Amen. Amen, Dr. Danish. You couldn't have said it better myself. Here we have Deepak Chopra being an absolute creep. Okay, this is from 2017. Subject, the mind bleeds into the world. God is a construct. Cute girls are real. Okay, great email to send to Jeffrey Epstein. The 2-line message appears in the over 3 million pages of documents. Okay, it's one of dozens of emails showing Chopra maintained regular contact with Epstein from at least 2016 through 2019. Okay, years after the 2008 conviction and the 2018 investigative story that came out. The correspondence reveals a relationship that went well beyond casual acquaintance. I agree from the files I've seen. Epstein's calendar showed about a dozen meetings with Chopra during those years. The email showed Chopra turning to Epstein for financial advice, using him as a social connector to celebrities and diplomats, and joining him for late night hangouts that Chopra described as a blast. Okay, here's one. It says, okay, God is a construct, cute girls are real. And then Deepak says, come to Israel with us, relax, and have fun with interesting people. If you want, use a fake name. Bring your girls. It will be fun to have you. Love. Love. Oops. Okay. Then The next month, Chopra sent the message about God being a construct. Okay. And then the files also show Chopra in 2018 asking, did she also drop the civil case against you? So that is about the 2018 investigative piece comes out. Apparently, Attia's nauseated and disgusted by the article. And he's saying, wait, did they drop the civil case against you? He's like, yup. Chopra's response, good. So he likes that the victim is dropping the charges. NPR reported finding voice messages in the files where Chopra sought financial guidance from Epstein. The files also showed Chopra asking Epstein in 2016 if he knew Marla Maples, Trump's second wife. CNN reported that Epstein responded with a story about losing $10,000 bet to Trump over Maples' pregnancy, claiming he paid it with a truckload of baby food. Okay. Epstein used his relationship with Chopra to arrange social gatherings that mixed celebrities with political power. The House Oversight Committee documents show Epstein coordinated dinners bringing together Chopra, filmmaker Woody Allen, and Miroslav Lajcek, who was serving as the president of the UN General Assembly at the time. CNN found emails where Epstein asked if Chopra could get Leonardo DiCaprio to join a dinner with Allen. Chopra said he'd ask. The files don't indicate if it happened. Okay, so I guess he did say something on Twitter. All right, let's read it. All right, he says, I am deeply saddened by the suffering of the victims in this case. I unequivocally condemn abuse and exploitation in all forms. I want to be clear, I was never involved, nor did I participate in any criminal. So they're all just doing the legal route. You okay? They're like, nor did I participate in any criminal or exploitative conduct. Any contact I had was limited and unrelated to abusive activity. Okay, so convenient that these guys, they just have so much to say and so much praise for a man that led an entire life, apparently, of being a sex trafficker, and yet they just never saw that side of him. Some past email exchanges have surfaced that reflect poor judgment and tone. Not just that. I regret that and understand how they read today, given what was publicly known at the time. My focus remains on supporting accountability, prevention, and efforts that protect and support survivors. God. Ay. You can't reply, though. He's turned off his comments, and he didn't give a shit about the victims until he was in the files. Before he was in the files, I think, was my understanding, but they did not know how many times they were together, spending time together at his house, making dinners and meetings and whatnot. Okay. Well, let's look through some more emails or some more files. Okay, this is in 2017. And again, I like to show this because it's like the simping is so bizarre to me. It's like, you don't have enough money. You don't have enough fame and fortune that you need to now connect with more people, even if it wasn't about the sex trafficking, which it is about. Let's say it was just about the power and his group. You need more than you already have? Like, there was an article, it was like, Epstein helped Woody Allen get his daughter into college. It's like, you couldn't have done that yourself? You need Jeffrey Epstein, a pedophile, to do it for you? Like, it sounds so ridiculous to me. Anyways. Okay. Deepak says, I would like to. I'm deeply grateful for our friendship. Does Friday evening around 6 p.m. or Saturday afternoon anytime work for you? Heart emoji, praying emoji. And he wrote back, no, but it might work for her. I check. I leave Thursday at 3. Who is her? I don't know. We'll see. Then Deepak says, I'm speaking all day tomorrow. Would 8 or 8:30 a.m. breakfast time work on Thursday? This is the most Deepak Chopra thing. This is like Jay Shetty. This is what he wants in his life. I'm teaching meditation 10 a.m. at Morgan Stanley. I'm teaching meditation at 10 a.m. at Morgan Stanley. Do let me know. #grateful. Then Jeffrey says, would it help if we met outside somewhere near Morgan Stanley? To what? Kiss? What are we going to do? Anyways, died Friday evening work? I leave Thursday at 3. Okay, does 4:30 or 5:30 today work? Or is 8 p.m. better? I can do either. I will make work whatever easiest for you. Choose your poison. I will come at 8 p.m. Thank you. Heart emoji, prayer emoji. Great. Oh, great. Jeffrey Epstein says. Okay. This one says, this is 2017 March, at 2:45 a.m. I'm doing a keynote on this in Shanghai. Current reality is also virtual. Fundamental reality is formless. And then Jeffrey says, does the weather have form? Do your liver cells? They like you have an organizing principle. Each particle equals aware of its surroundings. And then Jeffrey says, does what you refer to take action? Yes, of course. It is an action agent. Okay, I guess they're both high on mushrooms or something talking. Okay, then then Chopra says, the action is formless, experiencing itself as form and evolving endlessly into innumerable expressions of itself. Okay, then Jeffrey Epstein responds, does a cell have form? Is a cell aware? Does it have emotion? Does it perform action? Did you find me a cute Israeli? Okay, that took a turn. Cute Israeli. Then Deepak says, prepare yourself for this one. Deepak responds, cells are human constructs. No such thing. Universe is human construct. No such thing. Cute girls are aware when they make noises. Huh? What does that mean? Jeffrey Epstein says, thank God. Okay, again, this man now in 2026 is almost 80 years old. So he was in his 70s or late 60s when these came out. You're talking about cute girls? You need to find a cute grandma, Deepak. You're past the time for girls. Okay. This one is assistant to Jeffrey Epstein. Hello, Deepak. It is possible Jeffrey will come to New York this weekend. Are you around Sunday, March 26th? I will be around Sunday if Jeffrey wants to meet. Thanks. Super. I'll be in touch as soon as I know something. Jeffrey will be in New York on Sunday. What is a good time for you to come visit? For an in-home visit. Does 4 p.m. work? Yes. Sounds great. He will see you then. Thanks. Very, very excited for this meeting. Okay, blank, 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 blank. These are all photos of something that we don't get to see. Okay, yeah, this is kind of interesting. So I think this one might start from the top, maybe. Okay, he sends a YouTube video that's still on YouTube of a girl and says she is good. Okay, here's that YouTube video. Deepak sends this video of him and this woman, Kat Foster, talking about you are the universe. Okay, and he says she is good. Okay. She's much younger, obviously. She's not a child, though, I don't think, to be fair. But he's sending Jeffrey Epstein this link and then Jeffrey says, is she in New York? Okay. And then there's a bunch of pictures and stuff. We don't know what the pictures are. And Deepak says, in California, she visited for a weekend a while ago. Have invited again in future. Innocent and smart at the same time. That's what you want in a girlfriend. Innocent and smart at the same time. Secondary to cute, Jeffrey says. And Deepak says, okay. So that poor woman's being dragged into this. And people, of course, are here and saying, the Epstein file sent me here. Dirty Deepak. Creepy. Why are you friends with Jeffrey Epstein? Good questions. Good questions. Okay. These are like articles and magazines. I'm not reading all this, unfortunately. But this is an article that came out, what year? New York Post? They called him Mr. Big. This is Jeffrey Epstein, Mr. Big, the Sex and the City reference. Jeffrey Epstein in New York, 2001, left Epstein's 9-floor, 51,000 square foot townhome. He owns a 7,500-acre ranch in New Mexico, a house in Palm Beach, and a Caribbean island. Lately, Jeffrey Epstein's high-flying style has been drawing oohs and ahs. The bachelor financier lives in New York's largest private residence, claims to take only billionaires as clients, and flies celebrities including Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey. Those are two good friends. On his Boeing 727, but pierced his air of mystery and the picture changes. Vicky Ward explores Epstein's investment career, his ties to retail magnate Leslie Wexner, and his complicated past. Oh yeah, so complicated. And whoever had this was like highlighting certain parts physically. It's kind of interesting, but it's too much for me. Yeah, that was the cute girls are aware when they make noises. Okay. Okay, that's Bryan Johnson stuff. Epstein. Okay. Okay, so Jeffrey says, this is 2017. Hello, Deepak. I know you are confirmed for 7 p.m. tonight. We are hoping you will be pleased to join Jeffrey, Woody Allen, and his wife, Soon Yi. And many of you know this, but Woody Allen married his adopted daughter. So he adopted a daughter with his wife and then married the daughter later. So he's really a good guy, too. Woody Allen, Jeffrey, and his wife, Soon Yi, as well as Slovsky, foreign minister, for dinner. They will all be here. Okay for you to come hungry? Okay, looking forward to it. Fantastic. I'm delayed in Washington, unable to join tonight. Very sorry. Sorry, Deepak says. Oh no, what a shame. Okay, I will let Jeffrey know. Thank you and take care. Yes, I am sorry and disappointed. Was looking forward to it. Have a meeting in Congress tomorrow. I'm in New Jersey. Have events on Friday, then Boston. Back in New York for extended period after December 8th. Okay, good to know. Hopefully we can make something work on your next visit if Jeffrey's here. Thank you. Chomping at the bit to be in this man's presence. This one says, Jeffrey Epstein writes, news? Deepak goes, all going through board. Then Jeffrey says, when and why? And Deepak says, going for silence all week in Aslomar. Will be offline and media. Back in New York City early September. XOXO. Interesting to counter boredom with more silence. Smiley face. That's from Jeffrey. Then Deepak says, everything else is not worth it. With a sad crying face emoji. Then Jeffrey says, almost. Okay. And then Deepak says, I can experience this in my silent retreat without any help from a substance. Its existence without human constructs. Okay. And he sends a link, but it's gone. And then he says, Jeffrey says, Skype. And Deepak says, on a train, we'll connect. XOXO. Jeffrey says, question mark. And then Deepak says, I was outside of London in train, now at Heathrow. Where are you? To New York then? Have an event in Santa Cruz for Oprah, then a week in silence. How are you? Where are you? These people are freaks. This is Deepak Chopra, obviously saying, Jeffrey says in 2017, always nice to see you. Deepak says, I honored to meet you. It's a privilege. Okay. Oh, so gross. Okay, then 2018. So this is, I'm assuming, around the time the article came out. Progress? Jeffrey says. Then Deepak says, almost, not fully formalized, but soon going to Europe. Where are you? Jeffrey says, I'm in Florida until Saturday, then New York. Then Deepak says, we'll miss you then. Hope to see you in May. Praying emoji, heart emoji. Jeffrey says, where in Europe? Paris? Deepak says, this time Zurich, Prague, Rome, then back in California. Mid-May, Paris, London, Dusseldorf, Amsterdam, and Rome again, then New York City. You know, this is the thing. These people have everything. These people travel the world and have people fawn over them and have access to the best things in life. People would die to go to one of those places in their life. And they casually throw it off like, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going there. These people are also deranged and depraved people. It makes no sense. What is the point of life? I don't get it. I need to ask Deepak. Because if it's not to achieve this huge accomplishment of having access to everything you want, and it doesn't make you happy, what is the point? I ponder as I fall asleep at night. Because it's like, it's not just money. Money's one thing, but money is supposed to give you traveling, access to people who are interesting, I don't know, whatever else. And it's like, if that's not helping to make you feel better, that you don't have to go commit crimes, then we're all screwed. Anyways. Jeffrey says, I have a very nice model for your fundamental reality, wave collapse. Okay. And then Deepak says, possibility waves can only exist in consciousness. Particles are photos of perceptual moments, frozen space-time events in consciousness. In every perception, there is the illusion of matter. Jeffrey responds, no, I believe possibility waves collapse in consciousness. They exist outside. Think of a shadow on the ground of a ball. The ball exists. The shadow doesn't unless light goes around it. The shadow is the conscious. All the photons move around the ball. The shadow is their sum and collapse. They must both be on mushrooms again in this exchange. And then Deepak says, outside and inside are based on the idea that you are a body/mind. Awareness is that in which body, mind, and world are a shifting, unified experience. Awareness is the only invariant in every changing experience of body-mind universe. Am I like developing dementia? I don't know what any of this means. In awareness, there is no inside or outside. We'll send dates for Prague. I'm in a recording studio right now. Okay. There's some images that are redacted. Deepak says something, sends an image or something. Then Jeffrey says, thanks. When are you back? In New York. Will you be around 5 to 9th? Deepak says, we'll find out my schedule today after my office opens in California. Flying soon to Aspen. People's lives are busy. Okay. Oh my God. I don't know if this is even worth it. Manifest. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is Deepak. Thoughts on the flight from Dubai to LA. A rock is the most solid example of a material object. However, before an object can be labeled a rock, is an experience, a sensation, a color, shape, form, gritty taste, smell. These are perceptual activities in consciousness, awareness, known in consciousness, labeled in consciousness, and modified forms of consciousness. Maybe if you say consciousness 100 times, it'll make you seem very deep. The same applies to a mountain or a galaxy or an atom. In fact, atom particles and waves are even more abstract notions for modes of subtle knowing and experience in consciousness. The same principle applies to that which we call a hand, a brain, a body, a neural correlate. They are modified forms of consciousness. The entire universe and all manifest existence is a modification of formless awareness. Awareness existence are synonymous. Form and formlessness alternate as external existence. I don't know what you're talking about. Jeffrey responds, sorry, but the rock is not a rock. It is a projection of a local awareness. When there is a critical mass of local awareness, it seems to be material, nothing more, as the rock is different to each consciousness, localized. Then Deepak says, yes, sir. Moreover, it is a species-specific projection. What is it to a snake, an insect, a bat? Yes, but all snakes most likely agree, says Jeffrey. Then Deepak says, haha, yes, we are all non-local beings having a local experience. What fun! 2+ hours to land. Time! What a construct. 3 emojis. And they're asking about Skyping. Okay, that's about the silent retreat. Okay, this is this one. Okay, this is Jeffrey to Nicole Junkerman. Today, question mark? And she responds, we're still in Miami. Tomorrow? Yes, and if you like Deepak Chopra, we'll be there after 6. Today or tomorrow? Tomorrow. Yes, would love to. I'm so happy to see you. Fernando says, when I speak about you, I have a smile on my face. But this is from Nicole Junkerman. And this reminds me of his relationship to Hugo. Brother. Okay, I don't know. This one's confusing. Oh, this was kind of interesting. It seemed like Deepak is upset about Trump winning, which I find surprising. He says, Deepak says, can come by Saturday. What time? I'm in El Salvador. And then Jeffrey says, dinner with Woody Sunday? Bring anyone. Deepak says, I can't Sunday. My family is devastated. Re-election. Not sure what to do. This was on November 9th, 2016. So just when Trump started, I guess, or was, elected. My family is devastated. Re-election. Not sure what to do. Maybe his family was, but he wasn't. I don't know. And then Deepak says, I'm considering getting rid of my assets, dedicating my life to service and higher consciousness, and trying sleeping with the homeless for a while. All love. Okay, interesting take. And Jeffrey says, no, it's going to be fine. Okay. This is just meeting up again. Okay, here's a weird one. About God. This is about the action thing and things that take action. This is about, did you find me a cute Israeli? Okay. But then there's another, God is a construct, cute girls are real. Okay. And then Deepak says, that's divine transcendence. And then Jeffrey says, oh, I thought she was just referring to me. And Deepak says, that's because you are God in drag. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This is just like scheduling stuff. Scooting around the thing. Expedite this. He offered him a Viome test, I saw, which is like a gut microbiome test. Deepak's like, we should get this to Jeffrey for some reason. Jeffrey says, are you coming to New York this week? Deepak says, unfortunately, I'm back-to-back meetings 15th and 16th, and then go to Arkansas for the weekend to visit our donor. Who's our donor? When is a good day for you if you're there? Love. And then Jeffrey responds, how long are you there? And then Deepak says, just by the way, this was a big hit. It's a video that's old, I guess. More meetings, going to New York. He loves him. Pictures. Oh yeah, this is the YouTube video. She is good. What's this one? We're almost at the end. I'm so tired. This one says, Deepak says, do I have time to meet someone for dinner the day before Miami? Geeta Singh, which is apparently his assistant or something, says, if you really want to, then it can be done. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, here's Geeta, who's his assistant, still is live on the website. And this is one where we saw. Oh, and so that's Deepak Chopra. He didn't do anything wrong. Don't be mad at me. Keep buying my shit forever. That's his message to the masses, but don't comment on my stuff anymore. Jeffrey Epstein, I loved him, but it wasn't what you thought. Oh, man. Tired of it all. Because they'll never face anything. Nothing will happen, and it'll all just be forgotten. But c'est la vie, you know? C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Poetic Tranquility says, can we search specific words in the files? You can. Some of them didn't pop up, but when I searched like Chopra girls, it did come up. So if you want to look, you can. Well, this will be an ongoing thing. There's 3 million files. There's going to be more stories that come out. I searched for Andrew Huberman, didn't find him. I searched for the guy from the Titan submarine, didn't find him. I searched for Tony Robbins. He was mentioned, but about someone else was saying, we were watching a Tony Robbins seminar. And I searched for Oprah, who came up a bunch, but I didn't see any correspondence between them. I searched for the guy in the Underground Railroad thing, the Sound of Freedom guy, Tim Ballard. Didn't find him. So there were some surprises that I'm like, I would imagine would be there. I didn't look for the guy from InfoWars. He might be in there. And Alex Jones. I didn't look for him. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was there. It's the ones that try to get you off their scent that are the worst. Dave Hollis. Let me look. Yeah, let me look up Hollis. I don't think I did. Jeffrey Epstein. Let's search. Yeah, we'll do a couple searches. I'm hooked. You convinced me. Fine. It's so weird that there's an Epstein library on the government website. This is how far we've fallen. Wouldn't it be crazy? Like Rachel's all over this. Okay, Hollis. Let's see. Let's do Rachel. No. Okay, good. She passes the test. David. No. Dave. No. Okay, the Hollises are free. Bono is supposed to be there. Hollis being in Hollywood, he could be there. Yeah, everyone could go. This is justice.gov/Epstein if you're interested. Who else? Who else do we suspect? Elon's in here trying to go to the island. That's pretty funny and sad, but funny. Bannon. Yeah, Steve Bannon is like Jeffrey Epstein's closest confidant. So it seems. He's like all over it. Sounds like Kevin Spacey was around on the plane. Clinton, obviously. I think I read a file randomly, and he did say Barack. He was like, "Did Barack get this for us?" But it could be someone else. Yeah, maybe it's not a Barack Obama. I guess other people have the name Barack. There's 2,400 Obamas. But I don't think he's around. They're just talking about Obama. Obama's like, "Hey, what's up? I just want to say hi. Come to your hangout." I'm just kidding. He would never do that. But never trust anyone. That's what I've learned. I've never trusted anyone. No, I used to trust all these idiots. And now I trust nobody. Except for Taro. Yes. And we're going to go hang out and watch a movie. Yes, we are. It's supposed to be cold. Up in the Northeast again. Like -10 or something insane. Ay. I'm wearing my Bill shirt. My Bill shirt. My one of hundreds. No, I have like 4 Bill shirts. But I will be supporting the Patriots. Oh, I know. I had to make a choice. And I'm an East Coast girl, so that's what it came down to. Would you guys be so pissed if I didn't do my song at the end? I'm sorry. My throat is feeling, you know, a little, I know, exactly. She gets it. Yeah, let me look up Ryan Reynolds. You know who else? Who's the guy that's married to Kristen Bell? Ryan Reynolds is in a few, but let's see. Hold on, I'll go back real quick. He's in it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But just because it's mentioned 9 times does not mean he did anything. Yeah, okay. This is just like a Daily Mail article, looks like, about himself that Ryan Reynolds is also in. It says, giddy Ryan Reynolds flashes wide smile, sexual servant, pressuring her into gratifying, not without Blake Lively by his side. Huh? I guess because the stuff's on the side of it? I don't know. DAX. 315. It looks like it's a stock. No. Is that how you spell it? DAX. Yeah. Huberman wasn't there in it. Shepard. I can't spell. No, he's not in there. He's free. Okay. Well, I'll be back next week. We'll have some more topics. Maybe I'll cut a couple videos or something. I'm trying to get a flow going, and I'm working on it. And I'm also, did I tell you, everyone? Did I tell everybody, you guys, my best friends? Did I tell you that I'm taking a fiction writing class? Hey. So I have to write a fiction. I have to write a short story soon. So I need to spend some time doing that. And I'm scared because I haven't written anything since I was in high school. And I wrote some weird, dark stuff in high school, which I'm like, why was I not helped more? I used to write like concerning things. And no one was like, should you talk to somebody? They just gave me a C and was like, that was weird. I'm like, okay, well, the system works. Anyways, thank you. Good night. I'll put the screen up, but I'm going to give my voice a rest. I read too many Epstein files today. Goodbye. Taro says goodbye too, right? Say goodbye. Oh, now you're quiet? Good night, everybody. Thank you, bye.